Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Technical difficulties. Get it sorted out here. It's a little loud. We on the moon, baby. We showing the whole world our butt crack. Pretty much aiming right at the earth, too. Oh, I gotta turn that volume down.
That's what's up, everybody. Welcome to the big shoot. How's everybody doing tonight? Clive had his Patreon stream for the evening, and I see everyone has come over from that. Welcome. As usual, we had the early crew with Franco Walker, Joe Russ, Gas Masher, and Door Slamming Phil in the kitchen. Mr. A. Keg was in here earlier. Ram 50 V8 was, a bunch of people showed up early. There's Rob. Pianoman Rob is here. Herbert Trowsafency. Zach and J. Clive C. Spooks Woods. There's Big Clive. What's up, big guy? Your, gift is in Germany currently via the tracking number. What's up, Vangevoltmeister? Echo, hello. Garbage user, Harvac, Woomfi. There's Benji. What's going on, everybody? Let's see. First, let's do a toast in case you missed it. The U.S. is back on the moon after more than 50 years. A private company decided they want to start basically a secondary space communication system similar to NASA's Deep Space Network. So Intuitive Machines sent Odysseus IM-1 to the moon, and Thursday it landed well enough. We'll cover that later, but cheers to Innovative Machines and their accomplishment of being the first private company to land on the moon and being the first company to light a methane engine in space, beating SpaceX. Cheers. All right. And for our second toast, which I guess I'll grab some forbidden fruit. I actually went back. I got bored a few nights ago, and I decided to go back to like way back, like a few years ago, like the first couple live streams I did, just to see like who was there. And our toast is going to be to people from the first two live streams, which I didn't even participate in. Like they were just there as I was flying a drone around. It's funny, the names you see that are still here, which is very interesting. So we'll do a toast, one to Furbear, who was at my first stream, to Big Clive, Zapped Sparky, Chipmunk, Kyle K, and Nout. And we'll also do Lori21 and Jamie Meekle, because they were on my second stream. So cheers to the old schoolers, and cheers to everyone else that's hanging out. But they've been around for years. And Rip the Furbear. Of course. So I just thought that was interesting. What's up, Chippy? We love you too. All right, we have 5 minutes to a VertoThermoWhoofle. Guess we'll cover, let's see, I guess we actually have some stuff to talk about at the top of the hour, for like news and stuff, especially with the new lander. Never did get my chicken and dumplings recipe sorted out, did I? Oh well. Cheers to the old farts, yes. There's our Queen Liz Edwards. How are you? Let's see, I just looked at my little cheat sheet, the live warning. If you're joining late, make sure you're live if you want to keep up with the current conversation, as it were. So we got the VertoThermoWhoofle coming up in, what, 5 minutes? Then we have Pussies and Pianos in about 45-ish, 55 minutes. When we feed the kitties and we play some music that Rob Worrell, the Pianoman, has supplied for us. I'm looking for any kitties. Oh yeah, I can show you the CatCam in case you're new here. 252, it's still 252. And yeah, sorry, thank you, Chippy, for the £2. I love you all. Sorry we hate capitalism, and I would do a dab to Mr. Furbear. I miss his input. Thank you again. And welcome, Web Debbie, to the Gaggle. I feel like you were already there. Maybe that's one of them odd renewals. Who knows? But anyway, there's that camera. And there's the fancy feast. We'll be feeding them later. I forgot to turn the ball on. I'll turn that on when I go out. Do cats like the piano? The cats cannot hear the piano. Though I listen to a lot of like instrumental jazz around the house. Like I'll have it playing like all throughout the house. And it tends to, they tend to be a little more mellow when there's like chill music playing, as opposed to if I have like Static X or Nine Inch Nails or Korn blaring throughout the house. All right, well, if we're going to do that, you're going to have to give me just a moment. So, I don't know, I'll just leave this view up. Give me a second here. Let me run to the kitchen. Alright. Sorry, I keep my shatter in the refrigerator next to the dark chocolate chips because they are both a sweet motherfucking treat, baby. So get the old dab rig fired up here for Mr. Bear. Well, Mr. Fur. Corn. Wow, I haven't had that in a while. Or heard that in a while. I have just one blob enough left. There we go. Shutter. This is, I'd say it's probably about 60 milligrams of pie crust. Shatter. 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 Now, I actually got to get to the start making trips to the, thank you, just me. I need to start making trips to the dispensary because I can't get enough, like I can't go the day before 420 and get enough edibles. Like I'll actually hit the limit, so I got to start getting edibles now so I have enough for Super Stoner Day. Thank you, just me, gifting 5 memberships to the Gaggle of Goofballs. We have Delta Mike, Nick McBay, Nikolai, Phil, Bungee Scump, Fama, Daz878, John Billy Medicow, and JB. Welcome back, I think. Everybody, I think. All right. So let's go ahead and fire this up. Go ahead and grab something if you got something. We'll do a little toast to Mr. Furbear here, and then we'll get into a thermowoofle. So I'll give everyone a moment to gather a fresh, or pour a fresh, or pack, or stuff, or sit on it, wherever you put it. You know what I mean? Wherever you need to put it, that's fine. Just put it right in there. All right. So let's go ahead and take care of this. Go on green. Go. Come on, baby, get hot. And Celeste, this one's for you ahead of time. There we go. Oh man, I haven't done a dab in a while. Actually, the last time I did a dab was on stream, I think. Ugh. Yeah, that second one hit like, woo! Man, he took it like a bitch. Yeah, that second one hit a little. If you could see the smoke, you could see the first one was like, ah, come on. But as soon as I hit the second one, it was like, All right, it is time for a VertoThermoWhoofle. Freshly filled woofler, freshly filled floppy lighter. You out there, Peter? If so, have a groovy evening. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. That was a lot of heat. Not bad. See if we can get one more in before the recalculator. Or recalculation. Recalibration. There we go. And Christ, I lost one of my vapes for about 20 minutes today. I was looking everywhere. I'm like, shit, I took out the trash today. Went everywhere I was, couldn't figure out. Looked in the office, looked everywhere, and finally I came in and I sat down in the chair and it fell off the chair. It had fallen, apparently, had fallen back on the little metal bar that holds the backrest up and had been balanced right there perfectly as it fell out of my pocket. Because it doesn't help that, like a lot of us, every fucking thing I own is black. Because that's pretty much all you can ever freaking find it in anymore, is anything and everything just has to be a black color. Well, the fan's blending in with the ceiling really well. Huh. Actually, I haven't been turning the fan on too much lately either. Whoosh. Craig Matthews, explain the stoner science to me, please. Why is a dab so much more potent than a bong? What's the difference? One moment. So, right now, your best flower, you can use. What was that? Did you see something? Did like something flash or something happen? Did you hear that? That was weird. Okay. Anyway. No, like everything's here. Everything's on that should be on. That's on, that's good, that's good, that's okay, that's That's fine. She's good. Yeah, I don't know. That was fucking weird. Nothing flashed. Yeah, I didn't. It was like in this direction. I don't know. Maybe a bird hit the window or something. That was weird. Um. Oh, right. Dabs. Right. Yeah, I guess if I figure out what happened, I'll let you know. Anyway, so why is doing a dab so much stronger than smoking a bong? So right now, as far as flour goes, what you put in a bong, you're typically going to find that most you got some that can get like around 40% THC, but that is like rare and hard to get. So typically, and we're talking like weight percentage of like organic material to THC, which is the shit that actually helps you. So in flour, you're typically going to find like 20-25%. That's like your average stuff nowadays, especially with it getting legalized state level so people can play more with it. So say you got like quote good stuff, 25% THC. So you put that in your bong and you smoke it. So what happens, that lighter gets lit, the flame hits the flour. Anything that the flame touches is destroyed, including the THC. Generally speaking, you might get 25, 30, 35% if you work your lighter right of what's actually in the flour into your lungs. So when you're already dealing with 25% THC for say out of like an eighth. So you're inhaling that 25%, and out of that you're only getting 25% of that. So you just got like 8% of what you're looking for, like your 8 milligrams of THC or whatever. Whereas with a dab, by weight, it's typically decent stuff, good stuff is going to be 85 to 95% pure THC. That's kind of like why it's an oil, because that is the processed state. And when you do a dab, it is a controlled heat. And depending on if you have wax or shatter or, live resin. Oh, that was WhatsApp. Okay, hold on. I'll get to that there in a moment, DJ Bones. Depending on what you have to put in your dab rig, you can set the different temperature ranges so that it burns just enough to vaporize the oil but not destroy the THC. So if you're dealing with 90% dab and you're going to get 80% of that out, so now you're dealing with say 70 milligrams or 70% of what you originally put in all at once. Whereas you're going to have to smoke that whole bowl in that bong to get even that like 8 milligrams. Whereas this, you get in 1 or 2 puffs, like you just fucking killed a full bag. Like it's just so much more concentrated and controlled, especially if you use an electric rig. You can really control that temperature and get it just where it needs to be so that you get really good usage out of the THC. But you gotta watch, because if you do a lot of dabs, then you're gonna do more and more and more, because it really fucks your tolerance up. Trust me, when I got my dab rig, I was all giddy and excited, and I was hitting dabs like it was like I was smoking a pipe, and my tolerance got ridiculous. So that's why I don't really dab much anymore. I don't really need to either, because that issue has left. So I hope that explains that. I cannot smell ectoplasm. That wasn't my back. If my back was that loud, I'd be like loving it. No, the cats are throwing toys for me to chase, DC Allen. Oh, Maurice, what's up? The back snap. Back snap. Chris754A, I once coughed so much from weed that I coughed up a little blood. Juice. Talked to a doctor and I'm fine. Sounds like probably your throat got really, really raw and started to not have fun with that. My Air Spy Mini arrived this week. What is an Air Spy Mini? Air Spy Mini. electron box. I think, there, ooh, what is that? Oh, okay. You got much to pick up out there? This is exactly why I try to get as much stuff in bright red, because you can find it. And being a vapor, it's so easy to misplace things, but I get iPhone cases in red. It makes a real difference. Yeah, I don't know if OtterBox offers different color cases, but I'm going to probably get something other than black if they do, or find a case that's comparable. Because even if you get like a brightly colored phone, you don't see enough of it to matter with an OtterBox. What's up, Coach Seagal? D Woods, so you're saying the dab rig was the equivalent of Hobigon? God, it helped with getting to that situation, we'll say, yeah. Is that what that? That's NVIDIA. I have a driver to install. Thank you. Where is WhatsApp? I haven't actually opened it. Oh. Professor Herb CBD vape bar. Oh, some edibles and some flour. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have an empty stomach on April 20th stream. I'm gonna be eating so much fucking edibles. Very nice there, DJ Boons. It's a good collection. I'm actually kind of low, and I got a couple homies coming over tomorrow, so. Yes, ADHD life, that issue. Those that have been around, speaking of, OGs, those that have been around for a while, have heard bits and pieces of that. Who be gone? Oh, there she is. There's Orihime. She'll be getting fed probably Monday or Tuesday. Well, it should be Monday. With the availability there, asks what's happening. Do they sell old-fashioned stuff like black hashish? That's kind of hard to find. If it does pop up, which is pretty rare in the legal world, it goes very quick. But sometimes you know a guy that knows a guy that knows. I don't know. There's a lot of Noah guys, allegedly. But you can. There's always ways. This might be a stupid question, asked Craig Matthews, but is a dab rig and the guts of a vape similar? But yeah, one just gets hotter. Vapes you can generally control by voltage. Well, I will say, if you have control, like this one has low, medium, high dab mode on it. This one is an old tobacco rig, so it has all kinds of controls and bullshit on it. And these two are just, you get what you get. But as far as like THC cannabis world goes, most of the time you're just adjusting voltage if you can. Whereas as vapes, you're doing voltage and current, and it just gets hotter. And you have water. But I mean, yeah, it's just a heater and a battery. I mean, for the most part. UAG, Boyfriendman says, UAG has bright colors and similar protection to OtterBox. UAG is top of the line is orange. Yeah, actually, I've seen a few people with different, like safety orange cases. I'll have to check that out for the next phone, because I mean, at this point, I'll just keep that rocking and rolling. Long gone, Jeff. Long gone. Not a clue where, which is fucking amazing that I was able to avoid figuring that out. Or like overhearing it, I guess I should say. I miss my well, I mean, say I miss my HTC, but there's the last HTC I ever owned right there. I'm a little concerned with the old gal too, because at this point she doesn't charge while we're streaming. The battery is less than happy. If things don't go well with the battery, I may have to just temporarily pull that one out, just leave the case off of it, and just hook up like some 18650s or whatever to keep it going. Like I'd really rather not replace it like with an actual camera, because that's fucking expensive. So I guess we'll see what happens. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. So yeah, I guess if some point the camera just the feed just dies, it's probably because the camera battery went dead on us. I think the other one the other one I have at work that I used to record some of the work videos, I've replaced the battery in, and it's already taken a shit. Yeah, I mean, it might be. I mean, I could rig some 18650s to it, but yeah, maybe just, I'm probably, if I can find someone that makes a battery for it, I'm probably sure it's probably 20 bucks. It ain't gonna be worth the shit, but it'll be better than that.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I've also been sort of, kind of, you know, doing that like side eye shit at the Sony A6400, kind of like, maybe, I don't know. That might be one of those, if I find a really good sale, maybe I'll get that, because it would also be nice to have a camera that's not a cell phone. I mean, they are better at being cameras for the most part, because they are focused on photography, not as, you know, they have more hardware dedicated for it, and they're not processing as much because it's just there. You know, someone explained the process to me once. I've had worse. That's a great movie. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I have. That's right. I still have chicken nuggets that come with like barbecue sauce or hot sauce. You know, like buffalo wing sauce. It's not bad. It's pretty good. But then I put a bunch of my shit on there, and it tastes really good. They actually get pretty crispy. Yeah, when you put them in the convection oven fryer box thing. Gah. Just put 5 volts with a diode or two in line to the battery to power it off of USB if it's a fixed camera. Yeah, I've kind of thought about that too. Just kind of eliminate the battery and have a, I actually have a bunch of adjustable power supplies that run off of USB something. I don't know how much current. I think when that's really hauling ass, it pulls like 1.5 amps, so it's probably pretty close to that. Is it warm? It's not too warm. So it's probably pulling about an amp, and I think the power supplies I have are good for like 3 or 4 amps, so I could just do that as well. If I tried Aldi's shrimp tapas skewers. God, it seems familiar. I may have, because I used to shop at Aldi a lot. I like going to Food Line and getting their bacon wrapped shrimp, butterfly shrimp in garlic sauce. Like, it is frackin' delicious. Delicious. Ugh. I'm having like, my tongue's been getting twisted up on words like delicious, suspicious, that shush word, shush, or well, shush syllable or whatever. I don't know why it's been getting hung up like that. Lately, it's been weird. You're just gonna need to get more high. I don't know. Card user, it's not charging while streaming due to the cord putting torque on the port. No, like it doesn't actually move. That phone never comes out of the clamp, never comes unplugged, cable never gets touched, it just stays plugged into the computer. The other phone, I have its sister travels with me for work, even though its battery at this point is pretty much completely shot. Oh, I guess let's do a toast to let's do a toast to the civilization of people living inside the moon that we will soon discover and find out it was all true. So cheers to the people that have been watching us for thousands of years in their spy location in the moon. Caterpillar make a phone. Well, Caterpillar puts their name on a phone. The Moonies. That'd be funny if they all had butt faces too. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, this, yeah, we can do a little bit more forbidden fruit. This is very flavorful forbidden fruit, but it's interesting. Like, there's no flavor additives to this stuff. It's just fucking really sweet flavored. I think there's a civilization of cats living inside the moon, kind of. Because I do firmly believe that cats are aliens, that they're just monitoring us. Like, the cat delivery or cat distribution system is way too organized. Like they just know too much about what's going on. Like there's got to be something with that. Like I really think that they are our overlords. I mean, look at all the Egyptian writings, all the cats, the big dog thing. Like I think the dogs may have devolved to just into big dum-dum dogs, like bark bark woof woof, whereas cat's sophistication tells me that there's something else there. Sabanin wants to know if anyone has messed with the Flipper Zero. I don't know if... I don't really know if anyone I know has messed with one of them. Every once in a while I'll read an article about it and be like, yeah, that would have been cool like 20 years ago when I cared. That kind of thing. Yeah, like, so according to what scientists or whatever cat people go by, they think they feel that most cats have a 4 to 5 year old intelligence. So they do understand us. And when they say they do understand us, they just don't care. Like that's actually pretty accurate. But maybe that's just as much as they would let us know. Because, you know, they got to keep it on the DL. Like I think someone's eating right now. So let's see. Where's the mouse? That's the wrong camera. No, they walked out. They must have heard me talking about it. They may be having a meeting right now. Oh yeah, I have both pieces queued up there, Rob. Let's see, seems like a long delay tonight. Well, let's see. I'll just hit reload on my stream. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds over here. Now, so that's good. So that means there's no delay turned on. Let me pause that so we don't have to worry about that audio. Let me unmute that because we're going to need that maybe. Move that over there. All right, we're just clicking around. Click, 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 click. What's up, Delta Engine? That's all right. Still plenty of show to go. And you didn't miss... Oh! At least you didn't miss the phone call. You? What's up in there? Nah, they're not here. They're here, but they're not here. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. They said hi. What's happening? And they said, everyone else, they said hey. They said go for it. I said, cheers to the phone people. They always send me a nice fresh pack. Who this? New bong. The Lori Bong phone. Gifted from Lori21. It's my ex. Hang up. Yeah, you were just where my eyes landed, so you were targeted by the phone. What's up, Mousy Wousy? YouTube is really screwing me around at the moment, says Deltic. What seems to be the issue? What was the other cough track ever? Oh, that was me doing weird techno, that's right. Alright, let's see. Did we find anything new on the moon? Apparently we found we possibly found a conveniently placed rock. And I'll actually talk about that in just a second. Scruff in space. Alright. There's no McDonald's up there yet, but Columbia, like the jacket people, were apparently a very big sponsor of this because their name was literally on the outside of the lander itself. Like, biggish, like about as big as Intuitive Machines. It was just like them two. So apparently there's probably some nice jackets on the moon right now. Maybe they, I wonder if they sent like the ladies. You ever seen the Columbia? It was a Columbia with the weird like mom and son thing where she like trying to freeze the sun. Like maybe he's inside the lander, if so. They supplied material for the fuel tanks. Ah, TJ, thank you. Yeah, I may have missed some of this here and there because we were watching it, and they gave a ridiculously awesome amount of information before the landing about the lander. This being, if you've joined late, the Intuitive Machines IM-1 named Odysseus, the first private moon lander to be on the moon ever, and the first U.S. lander in over 50 years. So, when we were watching, everything seemed like it was going well, and then when it landed, they were expecting a signal within 15 seconds to a minute. Never happened. And a few minutes in, they finally received a weak signal. And they said, oh, we found it. We found a weak signal. Everybody cheered. Everyone was happy. And then they fucking, they were just like, ping, all right, thanks, everybody. And they fucking rolled. It was like, whoa, what? You didn't need to, like, oh, we were just like, you didn't need to stay. Like, you could have just left the camera on at mission control. Like, we could have just listened to them. You didn't, you could have gone and peed if you had to. But yeah, they cut it off really quickly. Which was kind of like, but anyway. So then we found out, I think within, what, half hour to an hour? After they literally took all their antenna arrays and literally turned it off and then back on again to help recalibrate. They found it, and they were able to communicate with it, and they at first thought it had landed properly. Well, later on, it turns out that instead of landing straight up and down at 1 meter per second and landing, it came down at 3 meters per second and going 1 meter per second sideways. So kind of roughly at like 30 degrees. And when it landed, the front foot, what would have been the front foot since it was moving laterally, got caught, bent up a little bit, and probably collapsed, and they think that it may have like either propped against the leg or may have tipped over and landed on a rock. I haven't heard any more updates since this morning. I know they're trying to get pictures sent so they can see exactly what's going on, but they've been able to get a pretty decent connection so far. And are currently trying to reconfigure the antennas to get better reception. Um, right before it was supposed to land, its primary laser altimeter and guidance system, um, like never turned on. So they almost lost the whole thing, but it just so happened that NASA had an experimental payload on board that had LiDAR radar on it. So they were able to do a quick patch within like a couple hours, like a really quick software patch, and they tied the LiDAR into the lander. It used that, so that's probably why it was a little bit off, because it was, just throw it together real quick. But that's probably why it came in a little sideways. But since they did that and they didn't have the original guidance system, the Eagle Cam, which was apparently just a box that just poops out and just takes pictures as it's going, like pictures and videos, so they can get like a nice external view of the lander. It never deployed. They actually turned it off because it wouldn't be able to properly receive the information from the LiDAR systems or something, which I get, quick patch. But now that it's landed, they're going to try and deploy the Eagle Cam any moment now, I guess, once they get a better connection. And then we can get a better idea of what happened to it when it landed. But still, it's great that NASA just happened to have an experimental proof of concept fucking payload on there that obviously worked quite well for proof of concept. Version 0.1 just landed a lander on the moon. Good enough, you know what I mean? So, the side, and one good thing is the side it tipped over on is still facing the sun because the solar panel's on top. So it's still generating electricity just fine. And apparently that particular side was just the artwork side. So all the scientific payloads are still exposed and have not been affected, and everything should work just fine, in the time they have before the sun goes down on the moon. So either way, it's going to get shit done. Or should be able to get some shit done. So we got there, and the point of what they're doing is they want to be the next AT&T of deep space. Because right now NASA's Deep Space Network is very busy with, dealing with Voyagers, the one that's bad, James Webb, the JWST telescope, Hubble, all that. Well, not so much Hubble, but you know what I mean. All the shit they got out there, they got one line, so they all got to take turns. And then if anybody else wants to get on there, they have to like rent the time, or I don't know how that works. But they have one phone line to share. Whereas Intuitive Machines wants to start first between Earth and the Moon, like a second communication system of high data speed, and then slowly work their way out specifically next to Mars. And then I'm guessing having satellites in proper orbit so that even when or the Earth and Mars are at, I forget what that term is called, where the sun is right in between us perfectly. So, even when that's happening, they want to have, enough satellites and relays so that we can do more communications faster and then slowly spread out, which is cool because that way they can do it through RF and whatever they're doing. And then NASA has just started testing laser communication. So we're going to start picking up stuff, and then we'll be able to get more science done because we'll have more bandwidth to transmit photographs and pictures and videos and all that stuff. Oh yeah, AT&T. Well, okay, maybe we shouldn't call them AT&T. I'm sorry, Intuitive Machines. That's a good point there, Ram 50 V8. They want to be the Sprint of the 90s. I was with Sprint from like all through the 90s, and they were fucking great. Loved their data plans, loved everything. They fucking worked great. They were like the provider to have in the late 90s because they had true unlimited data. Back when everyone else was still charging per fucking gigabyte. So they want to be the Sprint of the late 90s. Well, we'll say that. Yeah, AT&T, luckily nothing I have is with AT&T anymore. Not even, even WorkSmart switched over to Verizon. I have Verizon, which I'm not impressed with their 5G ultra wide. It's absolute fucking garbage. It's pretty much 3G speeds, but all right, Ram 50 is rolling out. Well, switching. Switching to my real name. Okay. Jeff Bezos on the way. Wait, what? Odin Sprint was good. I had Sprint for a long time. I had Sprint until the T-Mobile merger, and then I had them for 2 more years. I wanted to buy Sprint S21 Plus and a Galaxy Watch 3, like for work, because I just got promoted to field service manager, and the vice president made a offhanded comment that, you know, managers always have nice watches, and I'm like, oh, you're right, fuck, all right. So I was trying to get like any kind of deal for, you know, at the time it's $1,000 phone and a $500 watch. Trying to find any kind of deal I could get. So I'm like, I call up Sprint. I'm like, hey, you know, I want to buy this. You sell them. Like, what can you do for me? They're like, oh, we can't do anything. We can only sell you this kind of package. I'm like, well, I don't want that phone. I want this, like, in this watch. Like, I've been a customer with you for 21 years. Like, you can't even give me like $5 off just for hanging out for 21 years. They're like, no. I'm like, all right, I'll call you back, or I won't. I called Verizon. They gave me a really good deal, especially because I got a like discount because my work had, you know, Verizon or whatever. And so I switched to them, and it's like, apparently Sprint has basically is just T-Mobile, which is just garbage. So See, Rifleman says, and the fun fact, AT&T 5GE, AT&T faked 5G, still outperforms the real 5G. Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of your 5G literally is just relabeled 4G or 3G bands. They're just trying to make it look like you're there, even though you're not. Verizon's really good with that. Yeah, you'd figure, yeah, for all the laser death beams we're dealing with during 5G, we could have some, like, real speed while our brains rot. I mean, that only makes sense. Darren, what's up? Gotcha. McQuaid. What's that name? Like, not Darren McQuaid, but McQuaid seems familiar. 422 tube. All right. I don't remember what this is. I've had this on here for a while. 5G has been a nightmare for me traveling. I have horrible dropouts now, says Darren. Yeah, I've never had the problems I had with 4G that I have with 5G. I mean, like the one of the, I think it might have been the last drone stream I had before it got too cold to fly because fingers. I literally had to hide behind the service van to block the 5G ultra wide so it would flip over to 5G, or the broadcast just stopped. Because as soon as it flicked over to super fast, it was just like the latency on Verizon's 5G ultra wide is like measured in fucking like miles instead of milliseconds. It's ridiculous. Lone Wolf McQueen. No, that's not it. I don't know what it is. I'll have to see if that pops, see if something pops into my head or if I run across it. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. Like, a lot of you didn't get sterilized, did you? Because of the Patreon stream. Do we require sterilization, or are we going dirty tonight? You let me know. Did they shoot down the balloon? What balloon? Another balloon? I did hear something about a balloon, but I thought that was a few days ago. It's the wrong color, Rob. Scrufdog, you can turn off certain bands in the settings. Oh, yeah, I used to be able to turn off 5G and 5G there, Craig Matthews, but then Samsung changed the firmware and changed how it worked and locked that ability out for third-party apps. So now I can't do it unless I root the phone, and I'm not going to, I don't feel like dealing with that. So no, like I used to be able to do that up to about a year ago, and I, at that point, left 5G completely turned off. There you go. Chris knows what's up. it's, you know, I feel, wow, it looks like most of you are just like, let's raw dog it. We've all been exposed at this point, but couldn't hurt. All right, TJ's got a good point. All right, well, here we go. Cord is just long enough. It's going to smell great in here. Boom. Boom. Oh, my eyes. God, I love that stuff. Now everyone's blind. Bowden, I don't bother with cellular data. Mesh for the win. Yeah, if Amazon had decent, like Amazon, like if some of you watch the work streams, like we got lucky because if you speed test Amazon's connection, it's usually like 3 down, 5 up, or I'm sorry, 3 down, 4 up. Sometimes you can get 4 and 4. So doing anything there is just, it just doesn't really happen. But yeah, I'm pretty much either in Amazon or here. So I don't, if Amazon had better Wi-Fi, I'd consider getting a more limited cellular plan. Oh yeah, I love the color of that. I don't know how much, I think the plastic, that blocks most of the UV, doesn't it? Not that I'm going to sit there and stare at it for 20 minutes and, you know, let you know. Do I get free forklifts? Technically, I could probably, if they were going to, if they had one marked for scrap, if I said I want that one, they'd probably just give it to me. Or at least really, really, really fucking cheap, depending on what they were going to do with it. But yeah, I'm sure I could get very, very discounted forklifts if I needed to, Mr. A-Cake. Like that's one way to get like a really cheap forklift is go find a forklift company and go, you know, can I go through your scrap? Will you sell me a scrap forklift? And sometimes you'll get lucky, and the only reason we're getting rid of it is just because it's old as balls, and we don't feel like dealing with it. And if you got time, you can fucking do that. Jack attack and turn 5G off on the 21 Ultra with Vodafone, since it's useless in town. Yeah, and it's funny because it's like it's like I don't understand because it depends. I think it had something. Ugh, fucking hell! I think it had something to do with just in the U.S. that it got locked like that. Who knows? It's they're doing what cell phone manufacturers do and try different locks in different regions to see if anyone gets pissed about it. Well, that and you can't do shit in the EU at this point. Anything technologically that's too controlling because they do get on Apple a lot for all this proprietary bullshit. So the EU's at least on there, like the EU Trade Commission or something, whatever that is over there that keep pissing Apple off. It's up to Fixer 69. What did you miss? You missed one ThermoWhoofle. I was running around naked for a little while. And we're just chilling. Did a bong hit. Yeah, I have to deal with Apple for work. And I have for my old company, when they got bought out, they just said you can keep the tablet. So I have I have no idea. I think it's a 3rd, 4th gen iPad, and the only thing I use that for is changing the fucking LED lights on my scooter, because it only works with fucking iOS for some reason. That's the only reason why I have it. Like, I can't really find any use for it. And I hate dealing with Apple products. We need pussy cam, says DCL, and that will be in about 7 minutes or so. Well, the cats have been trying to form a union to overthrow me, someone bloody random. But then I give them scritches and, like, they just kind of forget about it. The cell site installation guy sadly didn't surrender gear when installing 5G gear in my block. Ah, it'd be great if you could get some of that old shit. Yes, Bout, well, I have a, fucking 9-bot ES4 that I put together from many, many pieces of scooter. I zing that around a little bit, and if I know I'm going to work sites that are really big, I'll take it with me so I can ride around. And we have one customer that literally has scooter lanes in the warehouse, and like they encourage the staff to bring in their own scooter, or if not, they keep some out like in the offices so that people in the warehouse and in the offices out front, they can just zing around the warehouse in the scooter lanes. And when I told them I had my scooter with me, they thought it was awesome. And it turned out to be really convenient because then I ended up having to cart water back and forth to fill up an industrial battery. Yeah, I like that, and I have a Show Me M365 that I need to put together, but I may need to get another or build another battery for it. I got to see what condition it's in. It's been sitting around for a little while. The scooters are fun. I got firmware on the ES4. I have it set for what is it? 9 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, and 20 miles an hour. The 20 mile, like with me on it, it's usually about 19. It kind of zings out, for not bad for 210 pounds. Or what's that? Roughly almost, 98 kilograms. Like that shit gets scary because like if you go, like you are just gone. And I typically don't wear a helmet when I'm zinging around on the scooter, so I gotta watch myself every once in a while. If a donkey humps a horse, it makes a mule, says Mr. A-Cake. Yeah, something like that. I have an off-road downhill scooter. What's it got, like big ass? How many wheels does it have? Is it like 2 big ones or one of them neat-looking 4-tire scooters there, Boot? Health and safety would have put a stop to that in the UK. What, like having scooters in a warehouse? Yeah, I couldn't believe like it was like okay. I was you kind of look around. I'm like, I mean, I guess this is okay. Like, well, I don't know. If they say it's fine, I'll fucking rock and roll. 2-wheel scooter, okay. 15 stone for the biscuit heads. Thank you, Mr. Phil. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember I was stoic in stones. I was like, it's like 14.7-ish, 14.8 or something like that. That was also when I was 206 pounds. But yeah, I'm right around stoic. Air fuel ratio, gasoline to air for an engine. A donkey has sex with a Tijuana prostitute to make a show. Yes, indeed. Good old donkey show. Stoichiometric. Yep. Well, yeah, I just get stoic. Yeah, it's close enough. Leave the big words off of it. Actually, on my, back in the day when I had the race car Cavalier thing, actually said was lean, stoich, or stoic, and then rich on it. That thing under hard acceleration ran around 11 to 1 with multi-port fuel injection, and if I hit the nitrous, it would run around 10.1 to 1, which you kind of want to do with nitrous. You want to make sure it's a little rich, because things go really bad if it gets lean on nitrous. You get one nitrous backfire, you can destroy the whole engine. But that's also why I had a wet shot, so when I hit the nitrous, it opened two solenoids, one that added nitrous and one that added more fuel. But yeah, but I also had the computer set to run 15.5 to 1 on lean cruise on the highway. So that would run the engine a little warmer, but since you're on the highway, there's so much air moving, it keeps it, at a perfectly fine temperature. That's a trick GM used to use. I don't know if anybody else used that at any point, but lean cruise was always nice. You get really good fuel mileage out of it. It's a lot of those cars where you saw back in the day when you saw that were like really bad city, but really fucking good highway. It's usually because they had lean cruise. Yes, there's a wet shot of nitrous and a dry shot of nitrous. They're a meme, Jeff. Like, I still have my nitrous bottle downstairs. I have bits and pieces of the system left, but the car it was in got sold. And, like, all the rest of that went, but the bottle wasn't in it when the car was sold, so I just kept it. Still has nitrous in it, too. Well, nitrous oxide, I should say. I have no idea what I'll give. I guess eventually I'll probably just sell it to somebody. Or give it to somebody. I know a couple of people that would probably buy it if I offered it to them. My anvil, a 1930s mouse hole, is 10024. Or I'm sorry, 1024 or 100 weight, 0 stone, 24 pounds. All right. Says Mr. Darren McQuaid. Nitrous oxide is a oxidizer. Yes, it is. It adds catalyst to the fuel. Nitrous oxide itself is not explosive as much as Fast and Furious would like you to believe. All it is cold and under a lot of pressure. Well, not a lot. Like ambient room temperature at 70 degrees, it's around, what, 800 psi in a bottle? Most of your safety valves, your blow-off safety valves pop at, I think it's around 1400 psi. So that's why you gotta watch, make sure you don't leave it in the sun. Keep light insulation, if any, on your bottle. Like, I ran a bottle heater to keep it regulated at 900 to 1000 psi. That's what kind of worked good for me in the car. But I had remote sensors and shit, so I could keep a close eye on that, because in the trunk of the car was the nitrous bottle, the fuel cell, and then the battery. And no back bumper. So, like, if I ever would have gotten rear-ended, it would... Catalyst, fuel, ignition. That would have been fun. That would have been very Fast and Furious. Like, the explosion from that, I'm sure, would have been fine. But... yeah, nitrous itself is not flammable. Like, if you hold a lighter up to it and open a nitrous bottle, it'll just blow the flame out, because there's no more fuel to do anything. It'll just poof. Deltic engine, Lenicano is 16 to 1, stoichiometric, basically anything with an oxygen sensor. At least one. It's 14.7 to 1. Max power is 12.5 to 1. AFR, air fuel ratio. Yeah, it kind of varies. The economy mixture gets a little bit leaner and a little bit leaner every time they update the emissions, it seems like. In my 95 Suburban, which I have a programmer in, I pull up all the stop fuel mapping, and lean cruise, and that is 15.5 to 1. Full throttle was between 10 and 11 to 1 if you had the full throttle power adder switch turned on, which, since that was the HD version of the Suburban 2500, it had the the heavier fuel package in it. I guess you'd say a little bit more fuel options turned on, because some of those trucks, when you hit full throttle, it didn't give you open loop. It kept you in closed loop just enough, and only added just enough fuel to keep you in closed loop. Whereas some of them in 95 had to switch so that when you hit full throttle, it would just go open loop off of fuel maps, which, were tuned from the factory. Then, of course, I tuned all mine once I did all my little additions to the engine. That was a lot of fuck. I mean, I probably took a year and a half to tune that thing, because I did it through the different seasons and then averages and tried this and then tweaked that and then adjust this pressure in the transmission, change this fucking shift point and do this, and had it tuned pretty good. But the transmission in it's a turbo, or a 4L80E first generation, without the improved input shaft. But those are also known for the harnesses. Like, there's a harness and sensor pack that's sold as an assembly, and they just kind of go to shit after a while with the solenoid sensors. I think that's kind of starting to go, because every once in a while first gear doesn't fully engage until the pump pressure builds up a little bit. So I think one of the solenoids is hanging open, which is usually what happens. Would it work if you used oxygen instead of nitrous dioxide or nitrous oxide? No, I mean, it would work, but why nitrous dioxide is preferred is because of the nitrogen. When that goes into the combustion chamber where it's nice and hot, the nitrogen, because of the heat, the nitrogen detaches from the oxygen. The oxygen forms O2, that goes and takes care of the heat, and then the N2, the nitrogen, remains in the combustion chamber as an inert gas to help cool the combustion down, so that you don't instantly overheat your engine, which would happen if you put pure oxygen in. You need to have some inert gas in there just to literally just fill the space, because you're getting so much extra power. You're helping limit the power a little bit by having the nitrous in there, which also helps cool combustion temperatures and the engine temperature down a little bit, just so you don't instantly overheat that mother Frencher. Rob, where oxygen would probably melt the engine. Basically, Rob, yeah, that's it. It would just, things would get too hot too quickly. Mr. Phil, 1969, my first generation 4L80E. The Sunshell splines would fail. Ooh, yeah. I haven't heard that. I hadn't heard that on them. I heard that the input shaft on these, on the first gens, would fail if you put too much power through them, because they're hollow. The second generation had solid billet input shafts. And apparently both of them, the harnesses just suck. And that sucks about the Sunshell splines. Well, luckily I also have the slight advantage if anything goes bad. One of the best 4L80 guys and GM transmission guys, is I can walk to their shop. Jim Jennings is right there. He's really close. And those guys, he's cool. Mom and pop shops, got 2 stores, one here, one in Glen Burnie. Great bunch of guys up there. I've called them once or twice for advice about what was going on with my transmission and what I thought it was, and they were like, yeah, that's probably just a harness. But good group of people up there. Celtic engine. It was good fun tuning engines. There was an excellent book in the 70s called Fuel Economy of the Gasoline Engine. Turns out there are cheaper, more effective ways to reduce emissions. Oh, I'm sure there is. Shit, I used to run Guaranteed to Pass, which is basically a bunch of ether and or ethanol and, well, ether and ethanol and all kinds of crazy shit to get through emissions, and that shit would burn clean, which it had to because it didn't have any catalytic converters on it. I mean, it looked like it did. I mean, the thought, like, the things on them were catalytic converters at one point at least. I mean, you know, that counts, right? Oh, wow, we are way past Pussies and Pianos. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm just rambling the fuck on. Sorry about that. Y'all gonna need to yell at me more. Or did you forget too? Anyway, let's, I guess we'll get back to that in a moment here. Felt against, I've always bought used cars and changed the transmission fluid when I got them. Helps keep them sweet, unless nobody changed it for the first 100,000 miles, and then who knows what's gonna happen. Ugh. Wow, I forgot, like, did I even do a Oh, I forgot, I just started going, didn't I? I do that sometimes. Alright, let's do a woofle, and then we'll do the cats, and then we'll do Pussies and Pianos. Just rambling on. Alright, let's do some wooflage. This is all wet. Hold on. All wet and shit. Oh, just spilled a little bit more. There we go. Don't get too excited there. Woofle. Whee! That was pretty good. Woofle. Nice. Ooh, that was pretty clear. Skadoosh. Alright. And someone has asked before if I could, like, set up a schedule or something, like pop-up reminders, and I kind of don't want to, because every once in a while I just start going on a roll, and I guess apparently I'm telling interesting shit if people are still hanging out. Nobody's yelling at me about the woofler. Alright, there's Freddy. Or Freddy. Yeah, Freddy. Ow. Crack my neck while I'm off screen. Ooh, there we go. And that was my fingers, not my neck. Although it pretty much sounds the same anyway. Gotta tell you. Alright. So now, I'm gonna take another vape, and then we'll go feed the kittos. Hopefully it will play correctly. Oh, and it may just keep on playing. I have it set because, like, the media player is weird on it, but since we have 2 songs to play instead of 1, I just have it set so that it starts with 1, and then it goes to the second song, and then it's probably just going to keep going. So if I'm late, I'll just see what video is, or which song is playing, and we'll just let whatever current song is playing finish, but it may keep going if I'm not back soon enough, just so you know. And Ed's here, and tomorrow Ed will be here, like, here. What's up, Ed? And thank you. Jim the Little Terror, definitely no schedule. Good with rambling, more like sitting around with the friends. Gotcha. That's kind of what I figured. Alright, see, what did Ed do here? 10 more members to the Gaggle of Goofballs. We have Jimmy Ross, Captain Barrett, Bella the Greasy, Bella Legreasy, Rory McLeod, Mr. Meerkat, Elidor Tarnacle, Jonathan H., and Topher's Cartails. Oh, and all that's random. Welcome and welcome back. There might be some new people in there. And of course, no Vera. Oh, is Vera here? Still no Vera. Alright. If you see her and I don't, tell her to check her email. Because it looks like the, her giveaway got lost by the, like, fucking post office. That's the second package they, if they lost it when I sent it, then that would have been the second package they had lost in 3 weeks. It's like, Jesus Christ. So I think I'm going to be going to a different post office. But, so I'm just going to, I need her to email me back to answer a question, and then I'm just going to have the manufacturers ship her replacement stuff. Mouse is out of the house. A good night. Have a good snooze. All right. Well, let's get ready for Pussies and Pianos. Let's see. Let me minimize that. Maximize that. Can I get full screen? Can I get a little full screen? I can. I guess if I hit the space bar, that should. Ooh. Okay, I just got to click on it and it'll go. All right. So let's go to center capture. No, not center capture. Cat and Rob. I have a scene called Cat plus Rob. There we go. Cat plus Rob. Are all the lights on? Lights, camera, schmaction. Alright, let's swipe that over. Turn that up. I think right about there was good. 3.1 decibel. Is that, you can see the mouse. Alright. Alright, here we go. And go. Thank you, Mr. Pianoman. It's nice when I get back soon enough to be able to listen as well. Cats are going to town. Vacuum cleaner has finished her plate already, I see, and Ronnie is making a mess. Some of that may have been me. Thank you again, Rob. Let's do a quick cheers to the Pianoman for supplying this evening's kitty cat music. Thank you, sir. Oh, where is waiting for someone to show up as well? Is Furboink here? I haven't seen Furboink. Oh, it's almost the 7 p.m. Goofball toast. Oh, there's Boink. All right. All right, while we're watching the cats, sorry, we did a poll last week that said if a family member was in need, God damn, hold on, would it be cool if every once in a great while, you know, I'd let us know, and if you wanted to, you could, you know, throw a couple bucks at them, you know, help them out kind of thing. And they all agreed, so. Furboink Busky, or Furboink, Boink Busky also, depending on which account they are on. They have been dealing with some medical issues for just over a year. Dealing with diabetes and a foot issue. If you're familiar, sometimes you can have circulatory problems, such as that. Different complications, and they are no longer able to do their old job. So they've been burning through their savings, and they've got a little bit of help, like with a place to stay currently. But they are running into some financial issues, mostly to keep their cell phone active so that they can communicate with the proper people, like we discussed too, but I'm not going to, you know, get too much into it that way, but that way they can commute with the proper people to be able to get additional helps as they are running out of money. So they came to me and asked if I'd be willing to, you know, discuss it on stream. I said, that's cool. But I said, you know, like everything else, we got to ask, you know, check with the channel. Everybody was cool with it. So Boink gave me their PayPal link, which I'm going to put in chat right now. If you would like to give them a couple bucks, you know, if you can help them out, just mostly so they can keep their cell phone going, so they can get with the people to get the sustainable income they need. By all means, donate there, not to my channel, because that's weird, and then you lose all kinds of money to pay or YouTube and fucking taxes and all that. But there's the paypal.me link that I just posted in chat, if you wouldn't mind tossing a couple bucks. And then I'm going to throw over, since everyone said, you know, channel money as well, I'll go ahead and shoot 50 bucks over there. Like after the stream, I'll fire that over as well as a gift from the channel and myself in general. So if you can give them a hand, that would be cool. It would be appreciated. And there is the vacuum cleaner's butt. Oh, if she finds that food, like, she'll find that. She has to find that. She always finds the extra food. Oh yeah, and we went through the top of the hour goofball toast. Yeah, so and also, so let's do a toast to Boink. Hopefully you get some help going here. So a toast to Boink, a toast to the Goofballs subscribers, everyone that's watching. Cheers and thanks for hanging out. And I guess if you have any questions for Boink, go ahead and ask in chat if you would like. I don't know how much, you know, if you would like to know any more information, I would suppose. Yeah, I'll have to do that later because I need, which one is it? That one. I have 2 hardware keys from the Ubico or something like that. And I need that one to use PayPal. I gotta see if I can add that key as the other key as well. I have multiple keys, hardware keys. Because I'll just I'll PayPal that over and then take that from, and then move that over from channel Foondage. The mouse is tired. Could you please put the link in the district? Yeah, that's a good idea. Link in the. Oh, actually, I thought I. Oh no, I was going. Yeah, right. I was going to. Let me do that. Yeah. So yeah, if you got this far, link in the description. Link to Boink Pussies donation page. Boop. I guess I should do like an HTTPS. I'm sure it's PayPal, so I'm sure it's secure. And save. And let me see if that worked. Save. And pause. Start playing the video. You see, it's not very far behind right now. Click there. Click that. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Yeah, I'll hit that up after the stream, and I can get all the hardware together. Good night, Ginger. Oh yeah, it's about that time again as well. Finish this up. Dink dink. Yeah, don't worry about it if you can't. Like, if you can send something, that's cool. Even if it's just a little bit. Like, it's whatever. If you can't, that's fine too. You know, we all have our different levels of what we can do and when we can do it, and whatever you can feel comfortable with. Definitely no pressure or anything like that. Yeah, see, we were talking about the 4L80. Stupid harness. Yeah, actually on that Suburban, I got to replace the brake line. One of the brake lines I replaced like probably 7 years ago. I had an auxiliary power cable zip tied to the frame, and looks like 2 of the zip ties broke, and the power cable laid across the brake line. And all right, let me switch it back. We're just staring at her butt. That was not at all what I wanted to do. See, I should be using the buttons on the Stream Deck instead of clicking through. But anyway, so one of the main brake lines, a power cable just was laying on it, and apparently just enough to saw through, like, the plastic sawed through the fucking steel, and then the brake line started leaking, and I just was like, I don't fucking feel like dealing with this. It's winter time, so I just drive the work van. I'll take it out on, I think I've taken it out 3 times since the brake line popped in, what, November? Yeah, Darren, like, I didn't even get a chance for it to properly rust all the way through. Like, the rest of it is nice and still, like, pretty good, almost silver condition. It's just where that stupid wire fell on it. Good night, Queen Liz Edwards. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you have a groovy evening and rest of your weekend. They let you use the work vehicle for personal stuff. Yeah, but if the caveat is if there is an accident, it is my insurance that deals with it, not their insurance. So that's, well, I'm sorry. Their insurance deals with it, but I pay all the deductibles. Sorry. Yeah, it still goes through their insurance, but now I'm responsible for the deductibles. Whereas if it was on the clock and there was an accident, they cover all the deductibles and all the insurance and shit. Unless it was just like flagrant disregard and I was doing 100 miles an hour in front of a school zone or something, you know what I mean? But like a legitimate accident, they cover it if it's work time. But if I'm driving on my time, I put gas in it. They don't even say you have to put gas in it, but like I put gas in it. And then, if there's an insurance thing, I got to pay for it, which that's fine. I get that. That's cool. How tough is the plastic on that wire to saw through steel? I've seen that happen before. My guy had a coolant line lay across an aluminum air conditioning line, and the aluminum lost. So I lost refrigerant in my that was in my 88 convertible, and they no longer made that line. And I had, by the time I found someone that was willing to make it, it was like, that costs more than the fucking car is worth. So I'm like, well, my new air conditioner is the convertible itself, and then I just did that forever. Price is long. It got to the point, anything over 35 degrees, I would have the top down and just turn the heat on if I needed to, because you'd still get like kind of like a heat bubble as you were moving. I would just, at that point, I just always had the top down. 88 Cavalier Z24 convertible, 2.8 V6 5-speed manual. Put exhaust on it, did some intake work. Put MSD ignition on it. It got 26 to 28 miles to the gallon on the highway. Lean burn. And that thing was just fun to drive around. That thing kind of, you know, it had a little bit of a shit and get going to it. It, what did it run? A 15.1 in the quarter mile? Back in 2007? That was a fun car to drive until it just got all fucked up when I was working out of state. And some shit happened, and that was like the decline of the car from that point. Greg Matthews, oh, AC is a nightmare. Most of the cars we've had in AC, the UK leaks, and it's not worth bothering getting it fixed, given the temperatures. I have to have air conditioning, especially here. I replaced the entire air conditioning system in the Suburban, because, you know, I bought it in the winter, and they're like, oh, yeah, the air conditioner works, and I went, whatever, dude, I know it doesn't fucking work. It never works, you know what I mean? And yeah, once spring rolled around, I turned the AC on, it was just, I pulled the hose off that goes, like the manifold hose assembly that goes into the compressor, and it was like, wow, is there a machine shop in there? Because it was just schwarf, like it just fucking shredded metal all through there. I'm like, yeah, let me just put that back on. Forget I ever saw that. So then I ordered the entire system and replaced that, and then a few years later, one of the O-rings at the evaporator, the the receiver dryer leaked, replaced that. Then one of the, actually no, that was the coolant, one of the coolant hoses that runs the length of the Suburban started leaking a couple years ago, because it's got rear heat and rear air conditioning. That actually works. But I had to replace all that shit too, with the air conditioner. But I got it working pretty good. It would, you'd get about 55 degrees coming out of the vents, which for a GM truck in 1995 is just like, well, fucking amazing. But that's just because like a bunch of the shit I bought was like updated, upgraded, yada yada to help. Good night, Graham Shaw. Thanks for hanging out. Ooh. Fix my chair. AC's alright. I deal with it. I even fucking fixed a couple of my refrigerators I've recharged. Those have long since been retired. They were on, both of them were almost 30 years old before they finally just was like, nah. Actually, rear lines are fun. What? Yeah, I do. They don't make the heater core lines for the rear heat started dripping. Just the tiniest little drip, and I went, oh, yeah, I know where this is going to go. This isn't one of those things you want to fuck with, because it was right at a steel fitting. But of course, GM doesn't make those hard lines anymore. So I found, it may have been on, what is that? Is that LMC truck magazine, like truck catalog for like older GM stuff? I think it was LMC. I found a heater hose kit that's cut and has the right fittings and adapters and shit, so you can replace all of it. You don't have to worry about it as much anymore, because it's actually a pretty nice rubber hose, double insulated kit kind of thing. What's up, Ronona? Deleted message retracted, Ronona. No, I did that. That was a couple years ago. Like, I got that fixed fucking quick. Wasn't dealing with that. And the heat in it worked great. Air conditioning worked great. Like, it worked so good, and I used it so much I had to take off the factory 105 amp alternator, which makes no fucking sense. If you have rear HVAC in a vehicle, you should not have a standard 105 amp alternator on there. And no, at night, if I had the headlights on and had the rear, had the air conditioning going full blast on the front and rear, I was lucky to get 12.5, 12.6 volts. Like, bleh. So I did a little bit of research, and now I have a 140 amp, 145 amp alternator off of a 2006 Tahoe engine. You just kind of, you over drill one of the holes by 2 millimeters, and then everything fits and lines up. You get a belt that's 1 inch longer. Slap that thing on there, and now at idle, with the headlights on, air conditioning at full blast, dome lights on, shit plugged in, like going full blast, at idle, it's 14.1 volts. Chillin', not even making a noise. Can't hear it, doesn't overheat, it loves it. I'm like, that's a motherfucking alternator right there. Love that shit. I love how us car guys, like, we all figure out other ways to make it work. Like, I had to get a new plug for the alternator, and like they told you, well, you can put it here, you can wire it here, all the different options you could do with the alternator. Like, you could take the sense wire and either wire it right to the alternator, so that to make sure you have 14.3 to 14.5 at the alternator, or you can wire that sense wire, which is what a lot of people did, and what I ended up doing. You run it, you follow the cable around, and you run it to your fuse box. Put it on one of your auxiliary outputs, like where you put your like plow, or some have plow outputs built in, some just have like auxiliary lugs. Run that sense wire to the auxiliary lug, that way it's going through at least 2 fuses, and then it can sense the voltage there, and it'll turn the voltage up at the alternator to make sure you're getting proper supply there, which is what I ended up doing, and that was even better. And then they had the option, with or without, depending on what truck you're putting on, if you wanted to hook up the little alternator light or battery light and shit like that. But it was really, really good instructions, and it was all just crimp this, crimp that, and I did that, and then I took 2-aught thin strand welding, like super flexible welding cable, and I did all my my battery cables to the fuse box, to the battery, to the starter, as all welding cable. So there's no issue with current flow in that mofo. Like, the stock output cable was 10 gauge, and that was on 105 amps. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Now it's 2-aught on 140 amp. There is very little voltage drop going across that thing, as it should be. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Where's Ed at? He can confirm all this crap. 69 Firebird. Ass grass to gas. They're running. Yeah, for me, I'm pretty much like, what do you take in exchange for wool ball? Like fixing this, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, as long as it's green, I'm good. They're green. I'm like, yeah, either give me money or give me weed. Like whatever. Or very good weed. Don't give me none of that downtown brown, as they call it. Like if it weren't for the fact that medical weed is so fucking good, like I wouldn't mind just getting like the cheap shit off the street. But that's like, I might as well grab this stuff off my front lawn and smoke that. Franco is heading out for the evening. Nighty night there, Franco. I will talk to you next time. Possibly on Wednesday with part 2 of the gigantic Lego B2 bomber. I do have more Tupperware things with lids, and for either tomorrow at some point or Monday, I'm going to sort out the gray pieces and the clear pieces and the white up pieces. Deltic engine, it's amazing how many cars have lousy electrical systems. And then there are the odd ones that actually do a decent job. Yeah, like I got a Chevy fucking bow tie tattooed over my heart that I did one night when I got bored. But man, like they always undersize the shit out of their power supply cables. It's just fucking found some dryer sheet weed. Yeah, like yeah, Bode knows what I'm talking about. Christ. But they've always undersized their copper feeds. It's frustrating as shit. Like every truck I've had, or actually every vehicle I've had, I've always put fresh welding cable. Not always 2-aught. Like on the Cavalier, I think it was 4 gauge. Because I had a high torque, low amp gear reduction starter on it. Like one of them. At the time I worked at a parts store, so I would just go, maybe. And I just found a gear reduction starter that worked. So I didn't need a lot of high current shit. Mostly, not even the nitrous bottle heater was only a couple amps. The fuel pump was 10 amp circuit because it only pulled like 5 to 6 amps. Yeah, I really didn't have anything else that was high current in there except the MSD ignition system. And that's just, you wired it right to the battery, a sort of a thick wire. I think that was probably 8 gauge for the DIS box. Oh, 420 somewhere. Let's go with whatever this one is. I think this is the mango. What do you mean 100 amp service there, Craig Matthews? Are we talking like AC or DC? Plus, you got to remember in cars, not everything is insulated, so you are always going to be running warm if you run thin. And plus, you also got to remember. Plus, the other thing is, of course, the older it gets, the more corroded all the connectors are going to get because DC, AC is almost anti-corrosive in the state where it doesn't just build up corrosion because the electrons are always flowing in one direction, and you can build corrosion over time due to that. But yeah, when it comes to the car, putting the car current through there, you pull 200 amps through an 8 gauge wire. Like it is not a happy wire for those, 10 to 15 seconds you're pulling current through it. Did you ever figure out how to put the magic smoke back into the Lucas wire harnesses? The Lucas wire harness? What Lucas wire harness do you speak of, Mr. MK? Cold and damp here, always condensation in the car this time of year, especially when you turn the fan on. Yeah, that was one of the problems with the race Cavalier. There's no heat hooked up to the heater core because the car was an 87, the intake manifold was a 93, and the coolant was not set up right. And to get coolant to where it needed to go would have been such a hassle because of other shit that was in the way that I didn't have heat in the quote race car. But that's all right. But yeah, that would always, everything was always fogged up. Half the time I'd ride with the windows down just so that there wasn't that temperature difference and they wouldn't fucking fog up. Lucas, the Prince of Darkness, says Josh Hogan. A Prince of Darkness harness? I don't have that. Jim's little teardown fix it. Cannot donate to the kitty food this week. Sorry, just sent it to family member in need. I believe in cover. Not a problem. Like, you don't ever need to apologize for that. I assure you the kitties will eat well. And I hope your family in need situation goes well. Goes positively. You know, goes well for everyone. Oh, that message was aimed at there. Okay. My bad. Yeah, this is 12 volts DC that I'm talking about there, Craig Matthews, as Jonathan Hughes has said. The thing is, these cables are put in like the 1890s, 1820s, designed to run a few 60-watt bulbs and a 40-amp fuse. They just swapped the fuse for a 100-amp on the same 100-year-old cables, and they are fine. You know, the cables here coming into the house are 8-gauge, and I have a 400-amp fucking panel. In this case, they are aware, like I had the panel, you know, inspected and all that, so they know what I have. They know my capacity, but they will not upgrade the cables until there is enough draw through the cables to bother replacing them. That may have something kind of to do with it. Like if you have some old ass cables, but you're not pulling enough current through them, then maybe that's not a problem, or maybe they're getting enough air up there that they're able to, you know, handle themselves. You take on painless wiring harness, Scrufdog S, Randy 99, Vice Admiral Tiger. No, I've never bothered with the painless, so I've always just done my own wiring. If I were to do a car nowadays, I would probably get painless, a wiring kit, but I'd rather play around with computers and cars for the moment. I'll get some more shit situated, and then we may do something with that garage, and I may have a project car. I already got an engine sitting in there. I got a 350 V8, you know, Chevy 350 V8 90, or I'm sorry, it's an 86 block. Now it's 30 over, so it's 355 cubic inch. That's 5.7 liter. Sorry, biscuit heads. Now your typical engine block. It's got forged aluminum pistons in it by Nippon. I think it was Nippon. I bought it from a buddy that builds race. Well, before he passed, he owned a race team, and this was one of his bottom ends for one of his race engines. Before he changed classes and could no longer use it, so he gave it to me for like actually pretty fucking cheap, like $200. Bunch of work done to it, so I got everything done. Put a high volume oil pump in it because he didn't have a pump in it yet. Got it all sorted out, ready to roll to put in the Suburban. And now I don't know what I might hold off and put it in something else. You never know. May put it in a project car. Maybe go get another Cavalier. Actually, isn't that difficult to put a V8 in a Cavalier. Really, the biggest thing there is you just need to reinforce the unibody. And just weld the engine mounts are almost, like, there's almost very little need for an adapter. Did I miss anything? Okay, no, probably missed a 420. Did I miss that? I don't know. Just in case. Rifleman says, I don't think Scrufdog has ever owned a foreign car, let alone a car from the UK. Keep in mind, the bulk of British cars in the USA are sports cars. I've owned 87 Cavalier, Chevy Cavalier, and 87 Chevy Cavalier four-door sedan, which became the nitrous car. Next thing I owned was an 88 Chevy Cavalier, different, newer body style, convertible, you know, the one I was talking about earlier. Then I owned a 71 Chevy C10, the CE, what was it, 13006 model. Was a 10-foot step-side bed. They only made 1,557 of them. That had a 307 Chevy V8 in it with a turbohydromatic 400, 456 gears in the back. That eventually blew up because I over-revved the shit out of it on the highway. That's what happens when you put tiny wheels on, well, smaller wheels on it. Then I had my 97 K2500 HD with a 6.5 diesel that had everything you could possibly do to it mechanically and electrically and programmingly, except bump the compression up and then start over. Had that for a while until it popped. And then I got the 95 Suburban, Chevy Suburban. But I do own one foreign vehicle. I do own my 95 Honda CBR 600 F3 Super Sport. 600cc engine and shits and gets even with my big ass on it. Now the 6.5, I feel like one of the rocker arms probably walked off. A Ford Fiesta or like Festiva, was that one of them tiny little sneaker cars there, just me? I used to know a dude that had a, was it an 80, I feel it was like an 86 or 87 Ford Festiva. It looked like a little sneaker. Yeah, I've always been a Chevy man there, Josh Homan. Like I even like pushed to get a Chevy like work vehicle as well, but the disappointing thing is Chevy doesn't make, or well, even GM doesn't make like a tall work van that I'm aware of. Like they're pretty settled in on their, you know, typical white work van thing going on. So I have to drive that Ford Transit Express van 2500. It's not bad, but it is nice and fucking tall. Like it moves, it does what I need to do. It's not bad to drive, even though it's a Ford. But it's nice that it's tall because I can stand up in it. Where if I had a Chevy van, I'd have to fucking like squat down or get down on my hands and knees, and I'm an old fuck, so I ain't even trying to be that. Frank Notabetty has always been a Ford man. Yeah, nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? Like, we all have our faults, and that's okay. Like, you are still welcome to hang out here. It's just fine. God, everything's like, yeah, with Chevys, you got your intake manifolds are always going to leak. Just deal with it. Velpro will not come up with, bless their hearts, Velpro has come up with so many different ways to try and fix Chevrolet leaking intake manifolds and oil pans, but it'll never happen. Chevys were built to leak, and that's just fine. That's just how that goes. Ford Transits 50s seem hard to find, none parked at the dealerships. Yeah, this is Andrew Dignan. Yeah, apparently it's like the super popular work van now. Ours don't have too many problems as long as you look up factory specs when you're doing your brakes and you don't put your brakes on with a fucking impact. Don't give it 100 foot-pounds of torque when it's a goddamn 22 foot-pound torque to yield bolt, for fuck's sake. Because then when you're driving over the bridge, your axle won't go doo doo doo, and just start walking out the motherfucking axle tube. Impact bad on brakes nowadays. It's amazing how much torque to yield shit they use on cars, and there's no goddamn need for it. You know what I mean? Like, my brake calipers never fucking fell off when they were just regular reusable bolts. They never fell off. And I never put Loctite on them because I knew they wouldn't fucking fall off. And they never fell off. But now everything's got to be fucking used once, torque to yield. Holy shit. Like, it's all just a fucking money gimmick. Fucking engineers have way too much time to try and fix a problem that doesn't exist. Oh, that's one thing I'll give to, at least Ford was the only one to be Ferrari and to have an engine banned from NASCAR. Yeah, that is and I always give Ford props on the 300 straight sixes from like the 80s and 90s. Those things, they should have used them in every fucking tank in the military and I don't know fucking what else, because those Ford straight sixes, like, they took oil and antifreeze, but that was just for looks. Like, all you needed to give, the only fluid they needed was gas and they would run. You could not break them motherfucking things. Just give it a set of spark plugs every couple years and shit. That was one thing I always gave props to. The straight sixes, the Ford 300 straight sixes. And I got respect for the old Mustangs if they're done properly and not derped out. And of course, you know, it's always there. We got a couple guys around here that got the 32 like Ford Deuce Coupe, or the not the Deuce Coupe, the fucking, you know, the little what the fuck are they called? I guess they are Deuce Coupes. You know, they're just the little drag doors, just the little box doors, little tiny car windshield doors. That's about it. Maybe a trunk, but they're all running around with 350s in them, with Chevy 350s on them. The Ford 300 inline six was also used as air compressors that ran with 3 cylinders and compressed air on the other 3. I heard that about those too. That was pretty interesting how they can do, how they get cross compatibility across industries like that. Like the Chevy 2.5 Iron Duke, 4-cylinder engine was originally made for boats, like Cruiser boats and shit like that. GM needed a stout 4-cylinder engine for their small pickup line and their like for the Camaros and like some of their small cars. And they went, well, that thing's designed to run 6,000 RPM for hours on end. Let's try that. So they just adapted the camshaft over to automotive, and that's about all they changed. And you couldn't break them fucking things no matter how much you tried. That was another nice little stout engine. Buddy had one of them. We did everything we could to try and break it. We just could not. And that's when I started to go like, what the fuck is this engine about? And then I started to do the research and found out that it was just a marine engine repurposed for cars and trucks. And I went, oh, yeah, that makes sense then. Just cool how you can use, how some companies knew how to do that. It's a shame PSI doesn't know how to do that with their industrial engines. They're really good at taking GM and Mitsubishi engines and fucking them up and then calling it an industrial engine. Yeah, what a bunch of junk. Iron Duke, the engine that nobody hated. That's pretty much it. Like, everybody seems like across, like, everybody, Ford guys, Dodge guys, import guys, everyone seems to have have heard of the Iron Duke, the old 2.5. Like, it's one of those engines that's just like a quote, just kind of put it in anything kind of engine, but it's almost a legendary, just workhorse, getting her done engine. Have I seen the Top Gear pickup truck where they tried and failed to destroy it? Who knows? I used to watch Top Gear all the time, but I haven't actually watched that in probably like 10 years. Ford Just Me says the Ford GT40. You're talking, unfortunately, I don't have a GT40. It has to fit in the seat, so I'm I don't know that I've ever actually seen a GT40 in person. Heard some British cars are using engines originally meant for water pumps. You never know. Like the old Cat 3208 workhorse, and that was an old workhorse engine that had been repurposed from anything through a truck to like sprinkler water pump systems to fucking generators to fucking adult toys to your mom to, you know, even pickup trucks. Like the 3208 has been used and is still in used on fucking everything. There's only been like just enough minor updates to keep it, you know, emissions compliant, but not the Cat 32. That's a really good engine. Very versatile. I've worked on a few of those. Oops, I parked the pickup on top of a skyscraper that they are about to blow up. They try. Okay. The Wankel engine cars fashion me. What, the three rotor? Like you got three. They got three rotor. Well, they got the two rotor and three rotor engines and the Wankels. Is that what you mean? The rotary engines? That's a Wankel engine, right? I haven't talked about rotary engines in a while. I know a couple people that had RX-7s, a couple people that had RX-8. The RX-8, the first one that came out, a buddy of mine got it, and it had so many fucking problems, recalls and shit, but he finally got it sorted out and running well enough. Knew a bunch of people that had some tricked out RX-7s. One dude had an RX-7 with a fucking Chevy 400 small block in it. That was fun. Jonathan Hughes, Scrufdog lives in a mansion over 10,000 square feet for 400. No, I just needed a lot of slots. My house is like 2,500 square feet, and some of that's not finished. But no, I have a 400 main panel just because I needed the slots, and then I have a 200 amp sub panel next to that with the criticals in it: refrigerator, sump pump, computer, network, you know, the critical stuff. And then that also feeds the garage where the generator is, so that I can kill a couple breakers and then backfeed the generator into the critical panel, have the main panels electrically separated, so that when all that shit comes back on, I know, oh, okay, go turn off the generator, disable, blah, 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 unplug, yada, schmacky schmacky. Yeah. Fuck, 10,000 square foot, man, Jesus, that's just too much. Like, you know what? I'd be fine with that if like 6,000 feet of it was like my garage. Like, really, at this point, just give me a big motherfucking, like, you know what? I'd be even fine if it wasn't temperature controlled, because like I can put a big motherfucking fan in it. Shit. My garage, I can't actually fit my Suburban in because it's not tall enough. Because apparently the people before me only had like cars, so I can't even put a truck in it. So if I do a project vehicle, it's going to have to be either a short pickup truck, a pickup truck with adjustable suspension, or a car. A lab. Well, yeah, I guess we do like actually, you know what? Let's see. Do like a 6,000 square foot garage and work, like outdoor work area. Like do 2,000 square feet of like the lab and indoor work area. And then like, you know, I don't really have a whole lot of shit in here. Like in my living area, there's not much except in here. This has all kinds of shit in it. Like, Christ, come on, can you see the Legos on the floor? Like, there's all the B-2 bomber Legos and some over there, down there. I gotta get that stuff out of here. I'll probably start putting the computer together this week. So I'll probably do it in a couple different segments of just putting the hardware together, and then I'll deal with the software on the back side of it. So I may do it in a couple sessions, like people were saying they'd love to watch and follow along. So I'll, you know, maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll do one, and then probably Thursday I'll do a part 2 if needed, which probably, because I'm not going to rush through this. I'm just going to take my time and start putting shit together. And like I said, I'll put the i7 and the 32 gigs of RAM in it just to get it up and running before I swap out all the hardware out of this one into that, and then that, and into that, and fucking flip-flop, and then get another video card for this. There's something else I needed to get for the... Oh, and then I'll have to get new monitors, because these are 720. And I can't see plugging in an NVIDIA into, like, you know, I should be able to get new monitors. So I may need to rework this whole... Here, hold on, let me hit the button. So I may need to rework this whole monitor situation. We kind of talked about it a few weeks ago. But I think I'm just going to get one big curved monitor right here for the bottom. And then keep this situation up here. Maybe add another monitor up there that's hooked up to these two. Because at that point, it'll have a video, like I'll be able to split it around, move it, I don't know, something like that. And I've already opened a separate self-funding bank account for the next computer I build. And like, well, not build, I should say, the next computer I acquire, because the next time I get a computer, I'm probably just going to get an MSI setup, like one of the MSI gaming setups. Because it's everything I would put in my, like, dream computer anyway. And it's fucking MSI, which MSI, my opinion, I'm an MSI fanboy. I love what they do. I love Asus as well. Acer does some pretty good stuff. You know, I have respect for everybody, but I love anything MSI. Not real happy about their latest shit with the firmware updates on their new monitors. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the market is in a few years. But I've already started the bank account that will buy the next bit of computer hardware. It like takes a little bit of money out of each paycheck and puts it to a separate account just for a computer. Like, I might as well start saving now because, I mean, especially if we're still doing this and I'm still broadcasting games, then I'm gonna do my damnedest to save up and get the best of whatever is fucking available, and we're just going to have fun with it. So I'm going to start saving now. Because it's going to take a while to save up some of the, like, current prices. It's going to take a long time to save this shit up. Uh-oh. Who, what? The remaining problem with residential home labs is the need for a rotary phase converter. You mean like a fucking... knob twisty fucking thing? Damn it. I always forget what they're called. AC voltage variac. Thank you. Isn't that what a static phase converter is? Or am I thinking of something completely different? No? Okay. Work with local meat processor. They had 6 very large rotary phase converters to run... Oh, to run his 3-phase equipment on... Okay, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha, that's what that is. Okay, thank you. Gotcha. I have heard of those. Don't they, like, do they put out a pretty good signal, or is it kind of like a simulated 3-phase? Like, how, like, has anybody look at one of them, like, on an oscilloscope, or is this one of them things you can get the shitty ones, or you can get the good ones, or are they pretty much just how they are? I'd be curious to know. Needs to be adjustable between 50 and 400 hertz. Smoothing matters. Okay. Yes, they are very good. They are literally just a generator being turned by... Oh, okay. So you're using single phase to drive a single phase motor into a 3-phase generator, that kind of thing. That actually makes a lot more sense than a complicated circuit, I would suppose. So yeah, I would say that would probably be pretty clean. Gotcha. Okay. So that's a big complicated name for that. I get it. I'll do my best to remember. I appreciate the lesson. I try to learn something new every day, so that is excellent. You should too. Exercise your brain. That way you keep it. We got to keep our brains because too many people just don't fucking have them anymore. Holy shit. The rotary is clean as folk. That's good. I actually have a three-phase generator out in the garage that I think has a blown fuse on one of the phases. I have the manual, like repair manual, everything for it. I got it from work. They were pulling it out, and I went, "What you doing with that?" He's like, "Yeah, one of the phases isn't working." I'm like, "But two are." Go on, tell me more. But yeah, I may pull it apart. I gotta hook it up to something. I'm probably just gonna do an old school, like redneck fucking motor, you know, pulley belt, just belt driven and the kind of thing. Just zing that motherfucker up. Maybe I'll use the 355 for that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Fucking like, you know, 400 horsepower, 2000 watt generator. But anyway, yeah, if I'm gonna see what it does, and if it looks like something that we can tear into, which, like, you know, don't hold your breath. Like, this will be down the ways, but yeah, if I ever, once I decide to get around to fixing that, that way I have a couple of generators. I wouldn't mind having a three-phase generator around here because you never know what you're going to come up with. That way, because I have two-phase, so this is, you know, 120, 240, and then that would be 480, up to 480 output, which is just a sweet generator to have. Even if it's only putting out two phases, that's still a nice, you can still work with that. You can still make some shit work with that. But, like, whatever, as long as it makes voltage, it can be made useful in some environment. Even if you gotta hook bulbs in parallel so they don't blow up because you're running like 277 per leg or something ridiculous. What's Ed got here? To tell them about the time my cats got stolen and had me rev it up to the oh, good lord. Yeah, so Ed is one of the victims. What, twice? Didn't it happen twice? His catalytic converters got stolen off the, what were you driving? The Chevy both times, I think? 3 times. 3 work vans. Nice. Yeah, I think the, aren't the converters on the transits in the, like, part of the exhaust manifolds? I know there's some weird word that Bryce used for that. Convertifolds or maniverters. That's what it is. Maniverters is the thing for that. So you can't really get to them in the Ford Transits. Hence, mine hasn't been stolen yet. Because they're right on, either part of or bolted directly to the exhaust manifolds. But yeah, his shit got stolen all the time. I told him he should just start laying out there with his gun one, like at night, just start camping out every night, and then just, you know, let itself sort itself out. Bolted directly to the back of the turbo. Well, I don't have turbos on mine. Dennis has turbos on his. I don't have turbos on mine. But Dennis also has the big motherfucking dually with the extra high, extra long, holy shit, whatever going on with that motherfucker. Oh, I still got the desktop turned up. Alright, let me mute that just in case any more weird notifications come in. But Aaron McQuaid, here in the States, 120 volts, 120 volts, 240 is what we have to watch for an open or floating neutral. It makes for an interesting time when that happens. Yeah, getting a floating neutral can be fun. Shit starts going all over the place. I actually lost my media server to something coming loose up there, and the voltage was going anywhere on one leg, was going anywhere from 50 up to like 140 volts just all over the motherfucking place. And I didn't figure that out until I noticed I was getting all these notifications of things like disconnecting from the network. So I logged into my UPS, which I had on a web server at the time that this happened. I remotely logged into it running on a Raspberry Pi, logged into an APC UPS that had whatever firmware on it. And I could see the voltage just going wee all up and down, and it was kicking on and off, protecting the network, which was great. But by the time I got home, one of my computers had fried itself, which is just fucking great. But they came out here, dicked around up there for a few minutes, and then it was fine. So I think something just came loose. That bird, I was fucking tempted to soda bottle the wife's 22. Yeah. It's amazing what a living room cushion can do for you. Or even a toddler pillow, because they're small. You know, like you probably have some. Like that's what I actually sleep on. I never knew what they were always called. I just knew I've always had this pillow that's about this big that I sleep on, because I can't sleep on a regular pillow because then I can't breathe right. I sleep on what turns out is a toddler pillow, 13 by 18. But I'm sure I've heard that anyway, that they're good, and if you fold them up as nice portable silencers as well. Great to sleep on, highly recommend it, because then you can lay on the edge of the pillow and still breathe and be slightly elevated off the bigger pillow that's underneath. So I sleep on 2 full size and then 1 toddler pillow. Just got some new ones too. At least to get a free PC out of it, I assume they paid, they would here anyway. Out of what? How did I get a free PC? Oh, no, they don't give a shit about that. No, I just had to get another power supply. Like, the time and hassle to do that, it's just, yeah, that's one of those things that going to have them fix $100 power supply, or actually, no, I think I got that one for like $70 because I wanted to get a better one. But yeah, they would just kill you with legal fees and all that. Yeah, they don't do anything. Like it's basically like good luck, asshole. Unless you do like a class action suit, and some of those can go through, some of those successfully go through, but they usually don't go very far. I gotta get around to getting finished up and filming the sinkhole that's out front of my house. Because that the Department of Public Works should be responsible for at this point, now that it's causing property damage, and they're about to lose one of their drains. That the sinkhole is growing directly underneath one of like the big, like, you know, like on the sidewalk you got the sewer drains of, like, that's usually where the manhole is. It's big ass fucking boop drop in thing for the sewer. Well, that's where this fucking the sinkhole is forming directly underneath that. And of course, directly underneath that is my septic pipe, my sewage pipe. So if that thing gets much bigger, it's going to fall down and crush my pipe. And then every time I flush, it's just going to like be poop outside. And you know what? I ain't stopping pooping. So I got to get around to do that video and tag a bunch of people, send it emails out to the whatever, because it started in the street and now it's in my yard. So now they're causing property damage. And it looks like it's following my septic pipe up, which means it's probably causing damage to the pipe anyway. Douche nozzles. Might be because in the UK our defective products law specifically says defective electricity is covered. No shit. Huh. Or Craig Matthews. No, I've seen them pay for a $10 phone charger. No shit. Yeah, they don't give a shit over here about that. Maybe that's why you're fucking, everything's so much more expensive. They're just covering for all that, because they don't give a shit about that over here. Like, that's like good luck. I think that's pretty much in the agreement. Basically, if you want clean electricity, it's up to you. And yeah, then that's why I have all my, that's why most of my important computer equipment is behind a UPS, including both of these. Now, granted, some of the extra monitors aren't on the power backup, but they're through the UPS, so they're through the protected side of it. They just don't get, if the voltage gets fucky, then, it'll the IVR and goddamn, I'm trying to remember how all the terms and shit for how that works. But if the voltage gets fucky, it'll feed the other shit, a clean voltage. It just won't battery back it up. Whew. It's always time for some more encouragement anyway. What fries from Meme just as what fries from weird voltages? Kind of random. I mean, I don't know specifically like what kinds of devices. I would imagine someone here would probably may have that better as a knowledge, but I know some obviously computer power supplies, but I've heard of that before when the voltages get weird. I know TVs can burn out, so I'm guessing it's certain types of power supplies are more sensitive to fluctuating voltages, especially a low voltage. Sinkholes sound scary. Whole houses have been swallowed up by them and people have died. Yeah, it's slowly, looks like it's slowly making its way towards my house. So I kind of like gotta get on that. It's just been so fucking cold outside. Oh shit. Had a quick look on looking at, okay. That's an engine thing. Yeah, I don't think it wasn't a problem with the caps. It's something on the primary side. I think it may have been the like one of the I don't know what is it, a class X or class? It may have been one of the protection. Well, yeah, it may have been one of the protection capacitors that just burned out and said fuck it. Like I didn't bother digging into the power supply because I just at that time in my life I just had too much other shit to deal with. So I was just like, shoot, gone, done, whatever. Let's just fucking move on, kind of thing. What voltage goes up, and when voltage goes down, amps go up to keep power level. Yeah, and that's when you have yeah, that's what I tell people about motors. They're like, well, if the voltage goes down, why is it a big deal? I'm like, because when it's rated for 400 watts, that means it's going to get 400 watts one way or the other. So when the voltage drops, the current goes up because it wants, that 400 watts. And yeah, so I imagine that would be one without much of a regulated input, probably going straight to a transformer. That's 8 o'clock. Wow, it's 8 o'clock already? God, I have just been yapping. All right. Well, hey, toast to everyone that's still here. Thanks for hanging out. It's 8 o'clock. Guess we'll keep going for a little while. I seem to be entertaining everyone. Are you not entertained? Cheers. Yeah, you'd think like there's just some, I guess there's just certain power supplies that just don't have the proper protection or not enough. Or, what you're going to see a lot is just underrated stuff. When they just try to squeak the bare minimum in there to save a penny, then charge you $5 more. Oh, no, I didn't forget to turn the skull light on. The power, the battery's dead. Should probably plug it in. It was on earlier. I guess it died before the stream started. Nah, she gone. She gone. I gotta plug that in now. Let's see. Wait a second. Which way did it go? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yep. charging. Crusher is here. Those yellow reefer caps like to blow up. The yellow is... I've heard that too. I believe... Yeah, I think I've heard exactly that. I feel like that. I remember looking in it, and I don't think the caps had fucked up. But yeah, I think it's a shame I got rid of the power supply. I would love to go back and look at it. But it was also like the original Dell power supply out of a 9020. So I don't know how old that is, but it's pretty old. So it may have just been a weak power supply anyway. It was one of them weird Dell ones with like the 9-wire proprietary dumb whatever bullshit non-ATX power supply. Right now it has a EVGA, is it a 400 watt ATX power supply with an adapter on it that runs better than like yeah, that costs way cheaper than trying to get a Dell or a clone Dell, which, you know, let me put a clone computer in one of my, or let me put a clone power supply in a computer that runs 24/7 and itself has a battery backup. Just so it doesn't fucking interrupt our Friday night movies. Rifa equals fart cap, says a garbled user. Yeah, I've definitely heard about that. I think I learned about them when I was like kind of learning a little bit about power supplies. Andrew was on earlier in the stream. Okay, yeah, I feel like I try to keep track of everybody. Reefa madness. It's the Reefa madness. The best PCU is a rewired microwave transformer, rectifier, and big caps. Yeah, I'd rather not play with microwave transformers, even though I have a couple donors for just that occasion. I will do my best not to blow myself up, but if I do, I'll try to make sure it's live. And then you can just stare at me doing this for like a half hour. Just make sure if I get electrocuted, not shocked, but if I get electrocuted on a live stream, like make sure you're placing bets on how long it takes, you know, for certain things to happen, like for the smoke or, you know, for complete paralysis, or if I burst into flames. Like get some breakdowns going there, get some good voting going. Zane, the magic puffer dragon is out for a smoke break, it would seem. Mr. Phil 1969 is out. I'll see you later. Sleep well. We need t-shirts that say it's always the caps with a cap symbol. Yeah, I have I have a 9020 motherboard that I believe the capacitors are starting to fail because it would just randomly shut down. And that was after the power surge. Or no, I'm sorry, that was before the power surge. It would do that. Replace the power supply, tried a different power supply just in case, put in solid state drives to replace the hard drives. That didn't help. So finally I replaced the motherboard, which was the original one, with an old stock, an original Dell motherboard that was like fucking, like 7 years old, sitting on a shelf. And that's what's running on it now. Now the only problem is every once in a while, the network connection just kind of stops networking. Like, it works locally, but doesn't reach out to touch anything, which is freaking weird. Rainy 1979 Vice Admiral Tiger says, take out the secondary high voltage winding and replace them with a thick wire for high current setup. Yeah, I've seen that on, what was it, probably Styro Pyro or something. We had like 2 volt, like, arc going across it. Yeah, I've thought about doing that as well. just putting like a wrap or two to have like the most monstrous 5-volt power supply and just power everything in the house off of USB. So what are you feeding that off of? One power supply with like 4-aught welding cable, 5-volt power supply coming off. You need an ESR meter that measures capacitors in a circuit, says Jonathan Hughes. Sounds like a bet on Uncool Fester kind of stuff. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. FIFA still makes capacitors. Aw. Do people just not know? Like, I guess people still buy them? Like, do they go straight to Shenzhen? The tables at Shenzhen or what? Darren McQuaid says, I have a 1940s international fridge that works flawlessly. My best friend has been using it as their primary fridge for 20 years now. Nice. Yeah, just don't build them like that anymore. I mean, the cheap fridges I had that I was talking about earlier, they lasted about 20 years before I had to recharge them. And then they lasted like another 7 years. And at that point, no matter where I put the Freon level, even when I put it where it was supposed to be, a little bit more, a little bit less, they were just wore out. The compressors were finally done. Greg Matthew says you could get a huge USB power supply, like multi-kilowatt. Some of them. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of 5-volt stuff I need to worry about. Like, I want to get some of these wired up to 5 volts so I don't have to deal with recharging them. I just haven't quite gotten around to it. Now that I'm kind of getting everything settled in, like now that they got the shelves here, so Nagano, that's not going to change. She's going to be around for a while, so that's not going to change. Now I can start sorting out where I want to put a couple of 5-volt power supplies somewhere to start feeding them and like get that wired up, because I just turned it on and then the battery's barely working. I just put batteries in that. Well, I put one battery in it. I guess I'll have to replace another one. I kind of cycle through replacing one battery at a time, so it's not 4.5 volts. Until I get around to fucking, getting them wired properly and just having it at 4.2 volts. 6-volt USB power is great for LED projects. I imagine it would be. Rob is having a dinner. Chicken Kievs. Is that how you say that? With a cheesy jacket potato. What is a cheesy jacket potato? Is that like potato skins? I actually had potato skin, like, do we know what potato skins are? Like, here comes another goddamn biscuit head discussion. Baked potato with melted cheese. All right, is it like scooped out, or is it just a baked potato with melted cheese? Because like a potato skin, it is just a baked potato with, okay. Similar, but not quite. Whereas a potato skin, if you don't know, I don't know, you cut a potato in half, open it up, scoop a bunch of the center out, and fill it with cheese and bacon and onions, and then you cook it, and then you put cheese and bacon and onions, and then you cook it a little bit more, and then you put a cheese, bacon, and onions, and then you cook it a little bit. I really like making those, but I also get them frozen because for me, they work really well as breakfast. I mean, if you kind of think about it, it's, potato, which is, fucking hash browns, cheese, which is going to be on any breakfast sandwich anyway, bacon, it's fucking bacon. So it works for breakfast for me. It's something my stomach can handle. My stomach's really weird for breakfast food. I don't know why. A jacket spud. Cheesy jacket potato. That's weird. Like, we would just say baked potato with cheese. Actually, like, I'd say most people, when they get a baked potato, they expect butter. And most of them, a lot of them will just kind of come with cheese, or you can get like the loaded baked potato, which is usually like a garlicky butter with shredded bacon, like some chives, maybe a little bit something else sprinkled on, and the added cheese. We could eat breakfast rolls. Yeah, I'm good with the steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal. I'll get that. I'll eat the hash brown, smoke my morning cigarette, drive to work, take a couple bites of the bagel, go and do my work thing, have the coffee. Every once in a while, I get like an egg McMuffin, but I'm usually going for that steak egg bagel. Like, I've been getting them since they first came out. They're just fucking good. That like butter sauce thing stuff they put on there is just delicious. We are down to water. Oh, come on, Jeff. It's past 8 o'clock. You know we all start talking about food because we're all hungry. Actually, I haven't. Actually, man, hold on. I'm gonna put that on the list. Like, I'm kind of in the mood for like actual baked, like a baked potato, not just a potato skin. I wanna get some potatoes. I was going to type a baked potato. Because if I just put potato, who knows what I'll get. But if I specify baked potato, I'll know to get a russet potato. Because I also like getting red potatoes. Those are good in stew. And like soup and a lot of things. Snack balls. I'm going to make some monkey balls. Monkey balls are like little snacky balls of like oatmeal and peanut butter and chocolate chips and maybe some raspberries, some like not quite dehydrated or free or whatever, dehydrated-ish raspberries, like little snack balls, protein ball things. Kind of get them warmed up so they all just kind of congeal together and shit like that. Yeah. Kind of down for that. They're like healthy snacks because I've gained some weight over the winter because I've been making a lot of fucking desserts, so I gotta kind of lay off the desserts a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little, I stepped on the scale the other day and went, oh my. Easy there, fucking there, buddy. There needs to go. Neighbor wants to go have Mexican tonight. Need a margarita. Take care. Have a good one. Make sure you drive safely and appropriately, please. Don't drink and drive, please. Purple potatoes. I like getting those little tiny purple ones. I'll get those, and I will, you can get bags of, like, tricolor potatoes. It'll have, like, little ones of those, little, like, regular-looking potatoes, and then, like, little red potatoes. I'll get those. I'll put them in, like, a dish, with foil in it. Like or like a pan, like something that can hold a little bit of sauce. It's okay if you put a little extra sauce in there, but always on foil for a heating surface and a reflective surface. But I will marinate them in a garlic butter sauce with, just butter, some like garlic seasoning and shit like that, or fresh garlic if you have it, which is even better. Put on some, soak them in the sauce for a couple minutes, lay them out, and then shake on Montreal steak seasoning and a little bit of Old Bay, sometimes a little bit of extra garlic, and then like Italian seasoning or oregano kind of thing, and then bake them motherfuckers just straight up. Holy franken mother. Oh, trying to censor myself a little bit, maybe. But like, yeah, they're freaking delicious. I love having those as a snack. What should I cook with Old Bay tonight, says Garbled User. I don't know. You got any chicken? Chicken! I'm gonna have chicken that will inevitably have Old Bay on it myself. Parboiling helps with the little potatoes. I've heard of that. But haven't made them. I prepare them other ways as well, but that's like my favorite way to make them. Pretty much any vegetable in a garlic butter sauce is going to be fucking banging. Because it's garlic and it's butter. Like, I mean, really, what else you got to say? It's garlic and it's butter. It's going to be fan-friggin' tastic. I just answered. Oh, you got some chicken. I actually need to thaw. I gotta see what I have in the freezer. I want to thaw out something. Ooh, no, actually, I'm going to be probably ordering subs tomorrow. And that's usually food for like 2 days. So I'm not going to thaw anything out yet. I do need to get some eggs, though. I ran out of eggs, but I have bacon. It's a tough conundrum to be in. Frank Notabetty says I use olive oil instead of butter. Sometimes I'll go back and forth. Like if it asks for butter, sometimes I'll use olive oil. Sometimes if it asks for olive oil, I'll do like a little bit of both, or actually use olive oil. I kind of go all over the place with it. I have some Lawry's in there. It's it's back there. Yeah, I got Lawry's. That's packaged by McCormick's. If I don't know if it actually says it or not, but McCormick's actually packages that. I work at the the manufacturing facility that packages up all the Old Bay and Lawry's and a bunch of others, pepper, all the pepper for Walmart and the pepper for McCormick's. It's literally like the McCormick's good pepper and then like your great value Walmart pepper. It's literally the same line. It's just whatever box of tins they put on the line. Ever use Slap Ya Mama? No. Sounds like something spicy, though. What is Slap Ya Mama? Tell me about your mama. Your mama. Real low salt butter is the best. That's one of them things I hear some people say that unsalted butter is garbage. Like it really depends on what you're using it for and how much salt additive you're looking to put in your food. Garlic and Lowry seasoned salt. Yeah, I use a lot of garlic powder, like dried garlic powder from McCormick's. I have some of their garlic salt as well. I mostly use garlic salt when I'm making garlic toast or like baked, garlic big baked toast or whatever. Like the thick Italian bread with a bunch of shitload of garlic. Because then I'll lather that shit in a bunch of butter, put garlic powder on it, and then add a little bit of garlic salt just to give it a little bit more of a poof. And that works really fucking good for the Texas toast, I guess is another word for it. Lawry's is West Coast, Old Bay is East Coast. Yeah, they sell Lawry's here. I know a bunch of people that really like the Lawry stuff. I keep it here because it is really good on as a change every once in a while from Old Bay. It's 420 somewhere. Let's go with the forbidden fruit. Cheers, everybody. 420. Or have a shot, or a drink, or a swig, or whatever. Salt in butter is a preservative, says Gas Masher. If you can get nice unsalted, use it and then salt it up. Okay. Lather with butter. There you go. Would you like how I put that? Because I do lather that shit with butter. Just kind of how I do with cinnamon toast. I put a lot of butter on there so that it purposely soaks through the cinnamon that you put on. Because then I put more cinnamon on and it soaks through again, and I just keep putting cinnamon on until it doesn't soak through. That's how I gauge my cinnamon toast. When the top layer is finally dry, then we have enough cinnamon on there, and then maybe just a little bit more. So I tend to put extra butter on there because that makes me put more cinnamon on. There's a couple places that like locally that make a really good like in-store butter. Garlic butter, sorry. Give me just a second here. All right. Sorry. So the dude cam just went off, but it's a spider. Makes a juicy crust. Butter damn near makes any food work, says Andrew Dickon. This is true. Butter. I used to know someone that would eat Doritos, like regular nacho cheese Doritos, and would use butter as a dip for Doritos. Now, like, I tried it myself. I mean, I didn't hate it, but you know, not really interested in ever trying that again. Just throwing that out there because that seems it was just weird. But she would yarf them things down like nobody's business. Like that was one of her jams. That was a buddy of mine's daughter. I don't know if she still does that. Should probably find out. That would be funny. Doritos and butter. Guns and butter. Sorry. Twisted tune. Rhubarb. Blackwatcher has rhubarb growing in many places. 8 plants have been coming back for a number of years. Stepmom can't get it to grow worth dard. What? Doritos are already greasy. Yeah, I eat Doritos. Not a whole lot. Like, I'm not like chilling in the basement eating Doritos. I'd actually rather eat Ruffles potato chips because Ruffles have ridges, motherfucker. No, I really, really like Ruffles potato chips. Like, just regular old Ruffles potato chips that are fucking jam. And then I bought some French onion dip. I bought like the store brand, and it's not like the problem is the store brand, the flavor is good, but it's got more of a barbecue sauce consistency, whereas like French onion dip in my previous experience is closer to like mayonnaise consistency, where like, you know, if you pick it up it'll peak, like it'll sit up, whereas like, you know, barbecue sauce, you pick it up and it just kind of runs off the chip, like the potato chip. So I'm kind of torn that like the flavor is really good, but it seems a little thin, like it drips off the plate, where I'm used to like being able to scoop and hold it upside down and it stays. Like, what is your, here, fuck it, why don't we do a poll? Where are we at? Start a poll. How's your French onion dip? Like, how are you used to eating it? Thicker, holds peaks, which means, you know, like when you scoop it, like it stays peaky, like mayonnaise would, like a thicker mayonnaise would. Thicker, holds peaks. Thinner, like barbecue sauce. Even thinner, like milk. Sure, we'll do that. Oh, and no idea. Never had it. Might as well throw that in there. Oh, everybody can participate. Yay! So you go. How is your French onion dip? Like how do you prefer it? How do you make it if you make your own? Which I have done way in the past. But like, because I'm wondering if this is a regional thing, as in like even across the states, or, you know, biscuit versus cookie, like regional, or, you know, something like that. Frank Notabetty says needs a thick chip, sour cream, and onion dip. That's not bad. Sour cream is not bad. Thick like sour cream. Yeah, that's another one there. C2S. Thicker is better. Cornstarch is a thickener. That's going to be possible, yeah. Okay, so everybody's saying they like it thick, as Rob is saying here. That makes sense to me. I'm guessing the store is just, I mean, it's the store brand. Figured I'd give it a shot. It's just a shame. Like, the flavor is great, but it's not worth the effort to, like, change it. You know what I mean? So I shall continue to consume, but I guess next time I'll get, I think they have Lay's brand. I don't know if, I don't think Ruffles makes a dip, but if they do, maybe I'll try that. I'll see what other brands they have. Runny dip is more laundry too. Yeah, you know, if it's dip and runny, then yeah, you may need to do more than just laundry. French onion dip on a baked potato. That would probably be fucking really good, Lockwatcher, actually. Jeff says they'd eat it either way, but thicker is better. Yeah, it's just weird. Use French onion dip soup mix to put in the burgers. Great flavor, says Lori. Absolutely. I put that in my burgers. I put it in my meatloaf. I use the Lipton French onion dip or the Lipton spicy French onion dip soup mix. Put it right in with your ground beef or your minced beef or, you know, whatever you call it over there, or whatever blang meat you're working with. Just mix it into that. It's really good in in like homemade baked potatoes where you gotta actually cook them, because then the flavor will cook through. That's a nice little additive there. Obviously, it works pretty good in soup too. But yeah, French onion dip soup mix is a really good additive to food. Just keep in mind it comes with freeze dried like onion bits in it, so you have to put it into something wet-ish, which, you know, a burger, you know, gets wet and greasy and oily and all that as you're cooking it. So you need some moisture to help rehydrate them, but whatever, they're like, that's fucking delicious. Frank Notabetty, I've never heard of this spicy Lipton onion soup mix. I'm sure Amazon has it. Let's see. Because I only recently started seeing it, I guess, within the past year or so. Lipton spicy. Whoa, hit that wrong button. And extra noodle, onion, beefy onion, vegetable, onion, mushroom, beefy onion. Really? They have a bunch of different flavors, but I'm not even seeing that on. That's weird. Lipton spicy onion soup mix. Going onion. That's weird. Wonder if I have any. Ooh, what did I just do? No, savory herb with garlic mix. Oh, that's not bad. I don't even see it like anywhere. They stopped making it? Was it a limited run? Soup mix. That's weird. Marshall Man, the soup mix in ground venison is how you make venison palatable, because venison is closer to goat meat. We all know how extremely popular goat meat is. I like venison different ways. Like, I haven't had it in years. I need to find some buddies that are hunters or something. Like, I work with a bunch of technicians. If somebody's hunting something, you know what I mean? When that's fine. Because then you can get deer meat from them. This French onion dip. Well, I can show you what the regular stuff, like the standby, and I learned that from my grandma, because my grandma was mother Frenchin' awesome. I guess see if this link works. This is a Amazon link. Probably gonna be long as whoa. Yeah, never mind. Hold on. Jesus. What the fuck? It's like 8 million motherfucking here. Copy link. Let's try that. Jesus. Fucking kidding me? There we go. See if that works. Lipton recipe secrets. Onion recipe soup and dip mix. Actually a picture of a burger. on the cover as a soup mix with a picture of a burger on it. So that kind of tells you right there what's going on. But yeah, it's a really good food additive. You're having what? Yummy nerds gummy clusters are so delicious. I'm eating the Hoppin' Easter flavor is sour and fruity as fuck. I haven't had over at Amazon one of the what do they call them? PAs or managers, whatever words they use for managers over there, had a bunch of those nerd clusters. And I was talking to her about one of the forklifts they were having a problem with, and she goes, "Hey, you want some of these?" I went, "Well, you're damn right I want some of them." And they may have been the sour ones because they had some sourness to them. They were freaking delicious. Venison can change flavor depending on what the animal is eating, yeah. But yeah, I've never really thought of venison being much like goat, but except it might be regional as well, depending on what they are eating, actually. But I've had goat, I've had venison. Venison is just better. There's Rob with the Discord server. I will probably be on there a little while after I get off of here. I'm going to get something to eat first. I'm going to heat up those chicken nuggets, those crispy, they're like, it's like popcorn chicken, but like bigger. So it's like mini round nugget things, whatever. They're really good. I'm going to have them. I'm going to make some French fries too. Then I'll order subs tomorrow when Ed gets over here. Oh, Ed and Royce. Assuming that's still going on. Should be. So we'll get some super subs. They got really good food, and when you can fucking find them open. Alright, let's see. It is 8:33. Oh, we just passed 3 hours. Alright. Why don't we, I don't know. I'll go for like 6 more minutes, and then I'm gonna head out, get some food. And, I'll probably live stream. Might be short notice. I gotta see like my schedule and all that. But Monday or Tuesday, I'll start putting the computer together, and then Thursday will be part 2 of it if needed, which it might be because this case is fucking complicated. So it may take me a little while to dirt my way through it. I'm gonna watch some videos on YouTube about it. Frank Betty says we made some amazing poutine with Canadian cheese curds. Poutine. I always fucking forget what poutine is. Why do I always forget what poutine? I think I have a mental block on poutine. Poutine is there's a French fries and cheese curds topped with. That's right. I do have a mental block of that. I mean, it sounds like it would be okay, but it also just sounds like it would be a heart attack, but it wouldn't be okay. I don't. I'm really weird. I don't know. The curds thing just kind of throws me off. Yeah, there's Rob's email address. If you would like to email him about anything, pianoman at scruffdog.live. Verb. Oh, I forgot the. I forgot that one too. Damn it. I keep grabbing the wrong knob. That's supposed to be there. That's oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I need to get like red paint marker and put it on that one for a quick grab. Burning the midnight oil. Poutine can rock, says Lockwatcher. Maybe one day I'll try some. Maybe I'll find someone that can order some and be like, hey man, like, look, can I get like, can you scoop me off a fucking tab of that before you eat it? Maybe. I don't know if I just want to dive right into something like that. Because I'm the kind of person I'll eat it even if I don't like it. You know, learn behavior kind of thing. Well, I'd rather know that I like it before I eat it. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Combination of mozzarella and cheddar. Zane the Magic Puffer Dragon is out. You also have a good evening and enjoy your Sunday as well. I had a root canal a long time ago. Oh, okay. I've had 1, 2, 3. Well, no, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When they had actually, did they root canal the teeth before they yanked them out? Or did I think? No, I actually think they just yanked the whole tooth out when I had to get teeth pulled because I had some like buck ass motherfucking teeth. I think they just pulled the whole tooth out before they root canaled them, which would give me 3 root canals. Yeah, well, I find out what that pop. I have no idea. Like, it may have just been something hitting the window out there because, like, nothing's on fire that I can see. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to go looking, that's for sure. I mean, I don't see anything here that looks weird, so maybe it was a Lego shifting or something. Or maybe it was Zoe hanging out. Maybe it was Stoopy Cat. I think the ghost of my old kitty cat still hangs out every once in a while. I think she stops by to hang out. Just kind of seems like it sometimes. Like sometimes it just seems like I can feel her energy. And then like sometimes weird stuff will happen. I'll be like, is Zoe in here? He's a stoopy girl. Ghost kitty. Yeah, that's I'm sorry actually. Here. Aim. That's her right there. That is her ashes. But she actually, yeah, she kind of watches the show every week with us. That's where I keep her. That's a good safe spot right there, and she gets to enjoy everything with all of us. I think I've shown that once before, but I think that was like way early on. Yeah, I mean, I'll throw that up again one more time there, Boink, just for anyone that may have joined a little late. Boink Busky has been having some medical issues going on. Whoa, that wasn't right. For a while. Oh, god damn, dropping everything. Has gone through their savings and they have a place to stay that's kind of going all right, but they need to keep their cell phone active. So I'm going to give that should HTS just so as a channel, since we voted on that last week, I'm going to give $50 from like me and the channel and us. Meaning when I say the channel, I mean like y'all and us, you know, as a group. And then if you would have you know a buck or two to donate to him through the PayPal link that I put on, not through like the channel super chat or anything. But basically he needs to keep his cell phone going because he's working with various you know avenues. You know, I don't want to get too deep into it, you know, but he's working with the appropriate people to get a more sustained income since he is now unable to work due to medical conditions. And he asked if it would be cool if you could, if you wanted, if you could help out. So there's the link again. I haven't donated yet. I will be donating after the stream because I need security key and you know all that stuff. But yeah, we'll go ahead and throw that back out there before I go. Like I said, the link is there and it's also in the description in the live stream video, and we'll be there, you know, ongoing. Like it'll stay in this video description even after the live stream's over, just in case you're watching late. You can reference it there in case it doesn't pop up in chat or something weird. Oh yeah, we still have a poll going before we go. How is your French onion dip? Wasn't I supposed to leave a couple minutes ago? I do that all the time. Looks like most are thicker and holds peaks, and no idea, never had it. So we'll give that a couple more seconds as I find a vape. This one is just about dead. I might as well just kill this tonight. I'll probably have, yeah, I'm probably gonna have some French onion dip tonight. Like it's just, the flavor is good. It just sucks that it's like, it's not runny. It's just thin. I don't know. You're welcome there, Blink. Hopefully that will help you. Zine the Magic Puffer Dragon just got NFC fingernail chips for sharing contact information and stuff. I'm excited to play with them tonight. Fingernail chips? What are they, like? Stick one, like almost like fingernail polish or something like that? Like, can you program them or do they come pre-programmed? I've never messed with those at all. They're Zine. Oh, okay. Well, what about the programmer part? Is it one of those, like, is it one of those things, do you program them locally or do you have to program them in the cloud? How about that? Like, I guess where does the information live? Does it live in the chip or does it live, like, in a cloud link, like a QR code kind of deal would? Sorry, just, you know, nerding, learning. But don't, yeah, I do that sometimes. Every once in a while, you know. Okay, it's just stored local ones. Okay, alright. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know how those little chippies work. Like, I know they just keep getting smaller and frickin' smaller and smaller. Ah. Beard is finally starting to get to the point where the side stuff is getting long enough instead of like here and going like it does. Like we're finally getting to the point, like just as summer rolls in, I'll have a nice long beard again. This one's only, what, 7 months? Now 8 months old. I gotta put a little more oil in it too. I haven't put any balm in it in a little while either. Just kind of letting it do its thing. Because at this point, no matter what you do, it's like... Alright, I'm going to go here in a... It just turned 8:45. I'll go here in about a minute. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm trying to rework the credits so they actually work a little bit better. That's why they haven't really been up much lately. But I'll see what I can do as I get some more time here. And the poll, as far as how is your French onion dip, we got 62% holds the peaks, 3% like the thinner, 3% really thin, and a third of you have never tried it. Alright, so I am not insane that it should be floofy. Or aerated, I guess you would call it. Folded. That's a big number. But, alright everybody. I will drop the link either tomorrow or probably tomorrow for the B-2 bomber. So we can get back to that mess and all that. And then I'll do a little bit of pre-sorting. Like, I'm not going to get super ridiculous with the pre-sorting because I don't necessarily see a whole lot of value in it, but I do want to get it a little bit pre-sorted. So I'll get to that either tomorrow or Monday, and then we'll start putting the computer together to build the freaking Frankenstein thing I'm looking at. So, thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate everyone spending time and hanging out and just having a good time like we do. And like I said on Thursday, like on some of the more like important like eventy things, like how there was the moon lander, or if by some miracle I am home during the next Starship launch. That's probably going to happen in a couple weeks because explosives just showed up at Starbase. Like if I'm home, I'll probably do a broadcast of it, and like we can just hang out, because like sometimes that shit's cool to watch by yourself, but sometimes it's really cool to watch with other people, even if it's just online. So some things like that, I may kind of drop extra live streams here and there for cool stuff, you know, hang out, do whatever. And then we'll be doing a KSP2 through the walkthrough thing, like through the learning thing, whatever they call it. You know, like through the experimental phase thing. So we'll be doing one of those soonish, as soon as I get around to it. Thank you. Wow, that was really quick on the stream. And thank you, Frank Notabetti, for $2 to the cause. I appreciate it. Click. So I am going to be out of here. I will see everybody Monday or Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Saturday and Thursday. Wow, I got a lot of live streams this week. So I'll see everybody all next week. And look forward to everyone hanging out. There's Ed with 5 more memberships, because that's what he does. He tries to sneak that shit in. To Randy 1979 Vice Admiral Little Tiger, nice. J Christian Meme, Jeff, good night to you. Carrie Severe got a membership. Winston Smith and Jimmy the Saint. All right, let me get out of here so we can calm Ed down. Ed, I guess get with me on Discord, and I should be on Discord soon-ish. So if you want to come hang out over there, we'll be in voice chat just hanging out. So I will see everybody later. And I am out of here in a 5, a 4, a 3, 2, 1.